Ladies love the skin.
Ow.
Bring it a little bit closer. The good skin, that is. That's why having a proper skincare routine is very important, and you need to feel Lapeef. The process is so easy, just 4 steps. You got your daily face wash. That's going to clean your face up nice and right. You got your exfoliator scrub. That's going to open up your pores. You got your AM moisturizer with the SPM 20, which is going to protect you from the sun. You also got your PM moisturizer, which is going to make sure your skin is protected throughout the night. Tej has tons of reviews from dedicated customers across the world. I know I said a lot, but it's okay, because guess what? It comes with an instruction card to explain to you in detail what to do morning and night. And because Tej is a sponsor, they're offering my family 30% off along with a free gift. Just click that link that's in the description and feel the Tej.
I canceled my health insurance. Why? Because I'm a narcissist and I fell into the same bullshit. I wanted the gold planet. I wanted the gold.
Hey, did that sound go out for y'all? Or was it playing?
Sound like
it went out. Well, did you
It
pause that?
started playing with a glitch.
Nah. Let me just make sure.
Shane
Make
with
sure.
us today?
Yeah, she with us today.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and play it for the time. I want to make sure you miss it. Making sure I'm not on Wi-Fi.
Six years ago, I canceled my health insurance. Why? Because I'm a narcissist and I fell into the same bullshit. I wanted the gold planet. I wanted the gold-plated health insurance. And what did I find? That half the time we were going outside of the network. We're wealthy. We want to go to the doctors we want to go to. Half the time it wasn't covered. And when it was covered, it was a ton of time and cost to get reimbursed. And their incentives are to make it difficult for you, right? Such that there's a lot of breakage and they make more money than that 45 cents on the dollar that they get from profits and administration. So what do you have? I was spending $55,000 a year on health insurance. Over 6 years, I have saved $330,000. That is not that unusual. So over 6 years, a family of 4 can save $250,000 in healthcare costs. Now, I can do this because if I get hit with a really unfortunate, unforeseen illness, I can absorb it. Most people can't. What do we need to do? What do we need to do? We need to consumerize it such that people become more thoughtful consumers and they start asking their doctors, how much is this going to cost? Is it worth it? And quite frankly, young people may decide to go naked because another dirty secret of the insurance industry is we overcharge young people such that they can subsidize old people. It's old people that need health care. Until people have a baby up until the age of 40, quite frankly, they really don't need health care. They need to eat well. They need to exercise. That's if you want true health care as opposed to sick care, you would take some money and you would encourage people. You would give them the money such that they weren't in food deserts, such that they weren't obese, and you got them working out. They don't need the doctor.
I do want to add some other notes. He said, note, I am not telling you to cancel your health insurance. This goes against most personal financial advice, as paying a small sum to avoid potentially having to pay a much larger sum is generally the way to go. Peace of mind can be worth a lot. I'm saying the system is clunky at best and a nightmare at worst. Whether you keep your health insurance depends on your health, your savings, and your risk tolerance. And each of these is highly individual. I share what works for my family, and I realize I'm in a rare position of privilege. I would advise you to to do what makes you sleep well at night. Let's go ahead and get into this, man. It's something new. Do we need health insurance? Do we need health insurance? I know if you're an entrepreneur and you're not tied to a job, you have no choice but to kind of curate a system that works for you. But to the other folks, I know people that they say that they're going to stay at their job because they're comfortable. The health insurance is good. So let's open it up for discussion. I would love to hear you guys' thoughts. Who would like to go first? I'm not going to pick nobody. Anybody else just want to just dive right into it? Go ahead, Shan.
I'll go after you, Shan.
You're on mute, just so you know, Shan. We can't hear you. No, something's not connected. Okay.
Is Shan with us today?
She might be. I know she with us spiritually, but let's see if she's physically.
Here I am. Sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, it's the button on the thing. But anyway, so people say benefits are just as important as salary when you're trying to find a job. Yes, this man is wealthy. He can pay out of the pocket for health insurance. Anybody who does not have health insurance, it's a gamble. Okay, we can assume because you're young, you're going to be healthy, but we see young people falling ill every day. And of course, we can promote going to the gym, but let's just be honest, most people don't do that. You can say, oh, this food is not good for you, but what do? They eat it anyway. So it sounds good if you have a person that's straight and narrow and they're like, you know what, I'm going to do it this way. But most Americans are just not going to do it. They've shown you over and over again. They'll start a diet plan for 2 or 3 days, and that's me too. And then on the 4th day, what happened here? So I do think that health insurance is important, but there are different types of health insurance, at least in education. I think that's one of the good things I like about education, because they give you options, right? A lot of options. And of course, the bigger the corporation, the better the health insurance, because there are more people feeding into the plan. But one option, if you are young, is a wellness plan. It's cheaper for you. It's just covering, it focuses more on preventative care, more so than, diagnostic. So going to take your physical, especially if you're sexually active, more people are sexually active now than probably ever before. That is hell. You need health care to understand that you are out here in these streets. You need to go to the gynecologist. You need to go see a doctor, cough one good time, whatever. But I do think the average American does need insurance, because if they don't have insurance, they're not going to go to the doctor. They're going to be like, oh, I can just sit this out. I can sit this out. We know time is of the essence. So when it comes to your health. So I don't, if you are rich like him, sure. Be a part of a company, look at the benefits plan, try to get a company that's going to offer you great benefits as well as a great salary. That's the best option for you. And definitely go to the doctor. So that's it. That's all I think to say.
All right, go ahead, Luis.
Well, I would like to start off by saying that, yes, we need health insurance, but I think that hinting on what Tim Monet had started off with was we need sort of that preventative care in the beginning. Before we even get deep dive into health insurance and when you should have it, we should really have a community conversation about health and eating right and what is the nutritional tablet and how to read it and what's on it, right? It all starts at home. For me, talking about health, it all starts at home. Like, what are you eating? What are you drinking? You have to create the kind of culture inside your house, right? And then also too, there used to be once upon a time, I don't know if anybody saw that video on IG. Like, they had a video from 1960 where JF Kennedy was promoting health and wellness, right? And he said a speech of like, the saddest thing in the world to see is a young, overweight child, right? And sort of he prioritized like health and fitness, and there was like this whole video of guys working out. We have fallen off that wagon so large that we are literally the most obese nation in the world at all ages, right? And that shouldn't be the case. With all these advancements and stuff like that, like health is no longer a focal point conversation. We talk about health insurance, but we're not talking about people walking, people exercising and eating well. It is a culture mindset. It's a culture mindset that starts at a young age. You know what I'm saying? What is your relationship, or what's your family relationship with food? You know what I'm saying? What is your family's relationship with, you know, going out for walks, or your family going for biking or outdoor activities, right? How active are you? That has to be embedded into the culture, not only at the school system, because the school system is going to be whatever the school system wants to be. And quite frankly, nowadays, I don't even trust it. It doesn't even set up young people on the right path for life. And sort of it has to start at the home level and then spread out to the community level. And then we can start talking about what health insurance is more advantageous for certain people at certain ages, right? Things happen, life happens, right? Um, some illnesses might pop up, right? That's why it's very important to understand your family chart. Do you have a history of, you know, diabetes? Do you have a history of high blood pressure? What are the things that you could do at a young age to prevent those things? And what are those conversations like? Those need to happen and foster everything around before we deep dive into the health insurance. But yes, in this country, definitely, I think there are too many people that don't have health insurance. I was just recently reading before we started, it was that amongst just Black people alone, we're more likely to have private insurance, and we make up 55%. You know what I'm saying? While Black people are more likely to have more public insurance, and that's like 13 versus 18%. And sort of there isn't a large comparison for people who don't have enough health insurance. It is very strange to me, especially when I've heard conversations about guys not going to the doctors for like 3 years. You know what I'm saying? Not seeing their primary health care in years. No blood work, no nothing. That is should be a topic of conversation. A lot of young people, unfortunately, are falling behind because of that. They're not doing their wellness check, you know what I'm saying? Going to get their blood work, and then they only rush there when there's already a problem. And there was a series of steps before that they could have taken before it became a big issue. And sort of we talk about, you know, health insurance, but the biggest health insurance is the investment up front from the type of lifestyle and the type of things that we push. We have to reevaluate our relationship with food, and we have to reevaluate our relationship in and around the culture that promotes the things that don't let us lead a long life and longevity. So I yield.
All right. Go ahead, Miss Taken. You're on mute, just so you know, man.
I pretty much agree with what everyone was saying at this point. But I think all of this is intentional. I think like the Food and Drug Administration is in cahoots with the Healthcare Administration, the medical, like all of that. They play off of each other because the biggest thing, it's about money. So even if you go to the doctor, there are very few that I've come across, but I'll say most doctors are not trying to cure you, right? It's not called health care. Insurance is called care, right? So that means something is wrong, so you need care, right? So I don't think they make it their job to actually get to the root of the problem and fix it. It is to put a band-aid on it so you could keep coming back, right? And then even if let's say that they took the initiative to say, if we gave them incentives for making their patients well, right? So if you cure, you get X amount of dollars, right? It would incentivize them to make sure that they're actually fixing some of these problems that they can, right? But then I think is a barrier to that, because then you have the Food and Drug Administration, all of these chemicals, all of these things that they allow to be pumped into our food, all of the pesticides, all of these things that have been identified to cause cancer. to have an impact as you get older and, end up having Alzheimer's, all of those things like sugar. I just saw something about saying that Alzheimer's is actually a form of diabetes in the brain, right? So our food, everything, it pushes us to get sick. Even if we wanted to eat better, we can make healthier choices, but you can't get away necessarily from all the stuff that they are putting in the food. So, I mean, you could do a little better. And the sad thing about it is not that they can't fix it, because the same companies are making these foods and sending it to other countries without all of the chemicals in it, because they've made those chemicals illegal. They've banned them in those countries. So though they're able to eat healthier, but as Americans, our is money over everything, right? So even if you're attempting to eat healthier, you can make better choices, but it's still going to be a part of an issue at some point. So for me, I think health insurance is very important, but I think it really has to it really has to be on you to be proactive. So it's there for when you need it, but it is on you. Even though the food is bad, you can still make better choices. You don't have to eat candy, right? That's something that you could control. If you can afford to eat, choose vegetables that and fruit that are organic, right? To try to lessen, but that gets expensive. I've tried it and it is kind of expensive. So there are steps that you can take on your own to do better, like doing research. Like my sister, she is into a lot of that, like natural stuff. So stuff happen, we'll call her like, what do I do for X, Y, and Z? And she gives us like natural remedies. So going back to old school, learning that kind of stuff, I think will be very helpful. But yeah, I don't think the healthcare, food care, all of that, we need it because of the environment that they have created to create the need for it.
All right. Well, Day West.
Yeah, I was gonna say that as well. Like a lot of people are going holistic now or looking up different ways to like find home remedies and do stuff at home so that because they can't afford it or they just feel like it's cleaner because what we're given is just not even good. Like, not even the medication. The medication got several effects to it. It's like, dang, by the time I get done taking the medicine, am I gonna still be here? So there's not really many options. Like, yeah, it would be responsible to have insurance, but it's like a hassle. Like, even when you have it, you have to use XYZ amount of it to get your deductible. Like, not saying that my dad stuck with his wife, but my dad is an entrepreneur. His wife has a job. He uses her insurance for his health, and he's had heart surgery 2 times and have heart palpitations and stuff like that. So basically, with insurance, nobody else is going to take you after they know that you set in stone, you got a problem and you're a liability. Nobody else is going to take you. So then you're stuck. You know what I'm saying? And with the whole thing about like men not going to the doctors, that could be financial, but sometimes that's choice. Because some guys be waiting for a woman to go to the doctor to find out their test results.
What?
Some dudes do that. Hold on, let me finish. It's crazy, but I feel like that's choice or sometimes it's just not taught for guys to go to the doctor to get a checkup because they don't do it as regular as us women do. That's my opinion, but there are like different outlets where you can go get free checkups and here and there. So that's really not an excuse. Yeah, that's my take on it.
Yeah, to put a disclosure out there. Go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, I mean, I think the insurance industry
is the biggest scam in America. I mean, just in general. What the guy in the video said about when you're at a younger age, I think I wouldn't advise this, but because you have to make a plan. So early when you're young, you know, if you have no pre-existing conditions or nothing that your parents passed down to you, you could do without insurance, but you have to put a plan together. You know, I think if you have kids, you should have insurance. Married, you should have insurance. But when you're a single person, you can go without insurance for a period of time. I would say below the age of 30 because it is a scam. Car insurance, health insurance, I mean, they're scams, but they're necessities because when you don't have it, it seems like everything happens. You know what I mean? But when you, everything happens. But when you're young, if you were to, there's a lot of things you have to put in place when you don't have insurance. You know what I'm saying? The number one thing, you got to watch your mouth. You know, you out in public, you get slapped in the mouth, $1,700. You know what I'm saying? That's healthcare. You're gonna have to go get some stitches. So, you know, partying, like you have to curtail your life to not needing to be insured. Everything you do, you have to factor in, okay, it's like risk assessment. You know, what me going here, what are the chances that I'm gonna be slapped? They're gonna start shooting out, they're gonna start, you have to factor in everything. If you as a young person can mitigate risk and do that, then yeah, for a period of time you can do without insurance. But I think when you reach to the age that most of us are, it's a necessary evil, even though you know it's a scam. Like my last car, like, well, you know, we're talking about health specifically, but even with car insurance, like I haven't, my first accident, I think I was 18 years old. I haven't been into an accident since then. Why the hell is my car insurance so expensive? You know what I'm saying? Like 18, yo, I'm in my 40s now. What are they doing? So it's definitely a necessity at our age, but as a young person, I mean, that's when you're your most active. You can go without it, but there have to be a full understanding of it because everything is a risk. So you would have to curtail your life around that, which may not be fun, but it's possible.
I like that, Jay. Go ahead, Cookie. You want to say something, Sharon?
One more thing, my fault. And then you can be on your parents' insurance, like up to 25. Damn, I forgot. If they're still working. So
If you are a student or, you know, I think it's up to 26 if you are a student, kind of still dependent upon them a little bit.
and if they're not retired, I think is another.
Okay. Go ahead, Cookie.
Um, I feel like everybody needs health insurance. I don't think that the problem is the insurance itself. Can y'all hear me? Okay. I think it's the structure of the insurance. When you go in and you look and you pick insurances, if like I'm an educator, so my insurance is provided by my school district, but you can also go in and look. The thing about insurance is you have to go in and be an adult and research what insurances will let you do what, right? So I feel like everybody should have insurance. This is why. But it's a certain type. You have to find an insurance that allows holistic medication. You have to find an insurance that allows massages. You have to find an insurance that covers acupuncture. You have to find the insurance. You have to pick the insurance that lists the things that you are into for you. That way you don't pay. I get I get 10 free acupuncture sessions every 6 months. You know what I mean, with my insurance, and you wouldn't think that existed, but I think people need to research their insurance more before than just saying, I'm getting like medical insurance and it's this kind and I'm just pay for it. No, you get to pick like you would pick a car or like you would pick any kind of what kind of deductible you want on your vehicle. You get to pick your insurance. That's my first point. My second point is I feel like people need insurance because I had a sinus surgery probably like 10 years ago, and my anesthesiologist alone charged me $90,000 just to put me to sleep. Okay. And if you're like a regular schmegular person, and I'm only 41, if you're not a regular schmegular person, if you're one of those people, you need to have health insurance because 80% of that was covered by my insurance. The rest I'm gonna let ride out on my credit score. I don't believe in paying the other 20%. I'm just throwing it out there. If a man don't want to marry me because of that, that's cool. I think 80% is enough for my hospital.
What?
I don't pay it. It doesn't keep you from buying anything. I bought a house with medical bills. It doesn't. Not in Texas anyway. The third reason is things pop up, and if you don't have cash on deck, then you're screwed. And I feel like as a country, not only are the pesticides bad and all the food just bad, and we're getting the hybrid food and we're getting the junk food from all over the world, this whole discussion shouldn't be happening because we're one of the only countries left in the world where we literally have to pay for healthcare in general. So it's tragic. I feel like maybe we all should just move and just avoid this conversation altogether.
Go ahead, Shan.
And I just piggyback off what he said. I had surgery, and my doctor told me in the room, when they pull you into that room, it is $64 a minute to have when you're having surgery. At least at Emory, it was at that point. It may have gone up since then. That was before COVID. $64 a minute in the surgery when you're getting surgery in the room. Once you roll in that room, the time starts ticking because that could be somebody else's room. $64 a minute. That's a lot of money. I had a blood transfusion with my daughter that was up in, I think it was like $65,000. I didn't pay a dime, not 1 cent. I paid a $45 copay, and it was so imagine. So I was just piggybacking off what Cookie said, but go ahead.
Before I go to Hink, does anyone know how? Because we do have entrepreneurs, so would you say the entrepreneur may just have his own healthcare plan, or do you think that they're paying out of pocket when they have situations like that?
If they're smart, they would enroll. They have like solo plans where you might be paying like $600 every 3 months, or you could set up the payment situation how you would want to. I think most entrepreneurs may go without it, early, like first starting out entrepreneurs. But once you get in there, yeah, you'll set up a personal plan, for yourself. And especially if you have a family, or, if you're married, like, who was that? Luis was saying, like the wife, no, that was Day West. It was saying her dad was on his wife's plan. If you're married and she has a job with insurance, you're on her plan. But I think most single entrepreneurs, they'll set up a solo plan. They're out there. They're, of course, pricey, but it'll be better than if you get caught without it. If you get caught without it, like Shan just said, $65,000, though. You're going to have that cloud over your head. That's on your credit. That's a lot.
The other thing too is that I think again we've talked about discipline, and I think that's part of it too. Is you may not necessarily need to, depending on your situation, because everybody's situation is different, is the same amount of money that they, let's say, take out, each month, or take out your paycheck for healthcare, right? Especially if you're young. If you were disciplined and took out that same amount and just, put it on the side for yourself, not saying that it would cover, like if there was a huge incident like what happened with Shan, or even in my situation when I had my son, just his bill alone was over $100,000 when I had him. So yes, in that situation, that's not going to work. But what I'm saying is to get the lowest medical plan, like the whatever the one that Shan was saying, kind of like when you get car insurance, you get that basic coverage or whatever. If you could do that with the medical, and then you just start stacking have a medical account where you're putting money in that can help as well. Because that I did myself personally. And when situations arose, I already had that money on deck, depending on how much, when I went to the doctor, how much I had to cover.
No. Why I say at our age is a necessity is something
No,
simple.
that's what I said when you're young.
Yeah.
When you're young, that's what I was talking about. Yeah.
But no, I was saying, like, to piggyback what I was talking about earlier, as far as our age, it's a necessity. It's definitely a necessity. Like, I was just, my friends would tell me, oh, these edibles, they'll help your back pain, ease your, So I'm sitting in the crib one night and I was like, let me try this. One edible, nothing. 2 edibles, nothing. 3 edibles, nothing. When I tell you, probably like 2.5 hours later, dog, I started seeing stuff, and I looked in the mirror. I looked like a werewolf. Like, I was going crazy.
I'm mistaken. Does that sound familiar?
I had to go to the emergency room.
Popping them back like Tic Tacs.
Yo, my heart was beating. My heart was beating out of my chest. I thought I was going to cry. I thought I was about to die. That feeling, you know what I mean? They was like, because I didn't, I never took them. So
I know the feeling you're feeling, Jay. Just understand. I know.
I was like, I went to the emergency room. First of all, I crawled to my car. That's how disoriented I was. I crawled out the front door to my car, got in there somehow.
How many milligram was each one?
Damn, it's like 3 a.m. I'm like, please, God, get me to this hospital. Thank you. Please, please, please. I'm saying a prayer, boom. Get into the emergency room. I couldn't even write my name on the sign-in sheet, That's how these edible. Never again in my life, But something that simple. I'm in my house relaxing, a nice Friday night, pop some edibles. All of a sudden, emergency room, and all they did was just give me a nap. Shoot me up with some shit to put me to sleep. I was in there like going crazy. They're like, calm down, nigga. You having a panic attack. You took too many edibles. You know what I'm saying? Like $1,300.
What did the doctor tell you when you went to the emergency room?
I was a victim at your house. Don't do it. All I'm saying is don't eat
y'all some goddamn dope fiends, man. Y'all some dope fiends. Y'all some dope fiends, man.
It sounded like you took somewhere between 800 and 1,000 milligrams, man.
Okay.
Get to that point, it sounded like you took like those are like heavy duty. Yeah, man. Before y'all take edibles, it's very important to read like how much is each one, and sometimes all you need is half of one.
But see, that's the stupid thing. Like, why would I buy a gummy bear and then just bite the head off? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how stupid edibles are. They'll give you a gummy bear, which I mess with the Harabos. Eat a Harabo.
Goddamn dope fiends.
With a gummy bear, you only supposed to bite the head off of an edible, dog. I'm like, why would I know? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, oh, you ate the whole body?
Yeah.
Oh, you going to hell? Yeah, I ate the whole body. It's a gummy bear.
Every year, I don't want y'all to think that really be going on in my house. So every year for my birthday, I have to correct it. Every year for my birthday, I try something that I've never done before. And that year that happened, that was the first time that I ever tried that. And we'll say that was the last time that I ever
tried it.
Nobody got time for that.
Yeah.
Mistaken. Have you ever tried any white lions? Maybe some sugar booger.
Oh no, I wouldn't do that.
Here on the Lapeef Network, Lapeef-ing Sunday, we do not promote the use of or overuse of recreational, non-prescribed.
Yeah, that was my health insurance.
And y'all out here pushing no health care and y'all trying these drugs? God.
I agree.
No, I actually did research on that. That's why I was okay. I really did. Because because I heard that it also helps with like ADHD, things like that. Like
Anxiety.
it has anxiety. So I actually did some research on it, and just kind of learned some of the history behind why, they wouldn't make it, legal and stuff like that. And it, believe it or not, has to do with racism. And I had no idea. Not
Imagine the
look it up.
irony of taking
It
something
does.
so you don't have anxiety and you end up in the
Mhm.
And it
ER having a panic
causes
attack.
With anxiety.
Them
Exactly.
edibles whoop y'all's ass.
anxiety.
Man,
Baby,
Yeah.
did it ever?
Well, look
yo,
at,
I was
we don't
damn
need to
near
hear no more
grabbing
dope
people by the
tales.
collar.
We
Yo,
don't need
like,
to hear
help
no
me,
dope
nigga.
tales. Let me explain. Talk about healthcare. God damn, this is bad for the children. Dope fiend stories. God damn. That don't make sense to me. No healthcare, because see, right now we just talking about healthcare just as far as the medical aspect. What about the other aspects of healthcare that is provided for you, like your visual? Because some of you motherfuckers are blind and need glasses, and that's gonna cover by healthcare. Some of you motherfuckers are crazy. Sound like mistaken and
Not too
Shan.
much, not too
Y'all need to
much.
get on somebody's goddamn
Mental
couch.
illness is real. Healthcare.
And so y'all need to get on somebody's goddamn couch and talk to somebody, especially after that dope fiend episode that y'all went through. That's all covered up in healthcare. I don't understand why I would never promote this. And we talk about well, the younger people don't need it. Well, the younger people are more likely the ones who get in them situations like accidents, or situations at school, or situations going home from school, or trying like Jay said, trying edibles, vaping. They doing all this crazy and dumb shit, and they'll just try it because they feel like nothing's gonna happen to them. They're not gonna die. They're invincible. I can take on the world, and they go out there and do some dumb shit, and they in ER. And to be caught up like that with no health insurance, because my daddy listened to this old white man, and he didn't get the health insurance because he wanted to save some money. Yeah,
That's
that don't
why
make
they
sense.
wait till they turn 36 like I did. They would
I hear
already
you.
have health
Right on.
insurance.
Right on. And
Hey,
so,
don't forget dental now.
yeah, it's all covered under health
Don't
insurance.
forget
So,
dental.
yeah, but
I
these
need
motherfuckers
y'all
don't.
to understand that 90% of
Hold on, y'all
y'all
gonna let him
I
finish. Y'all
didn't.
gonna let him finish.
I
oh,
didn't. Damn, I didn't interrupt nobody, but I got you. Shout out to medical insurance. Another thing is you're gonna get penalized on your taxes when you don't have health insurance. I don't know if y'all know that, but yes, there's a penalty to be paid on your taxes if you don't have health insurance. So that's another thing. And Mistake said it's all about money. Everything's all about money. It's never not about money. So we need to let that shit go. Dave West, you talk about well, men don't go every year. Well, women are required to go to do what they got to do as far as getting their pap smear and other visits that women have to do. Men are not required to do that every year. Normally, men do what they got to do until like we feel some type of aches and pains or sickness, and then we'll go. Now, the ones who try to ignore those aches and pains and don't do it, now that's foolish. That don't make sense to me. You should always go get your checkups. You always go get the physical. I say it all the time. When I end my shows, I talk about, black man, protect yourself at all times between your mental and your physical, getting blood work, get your A1C checked. I talk about diabetes and heart disease, the biggest killer amongst black men. I talk about older men of a certain age going to get the prostate checks and colonoscopies. Those are very important. And those are all covered under health insurance. You just have to pay your copay. But to put that message out there for the 1% of people who can afford to do that without health insurance, there's no way I would do that. That would be some private conversation I would have with my other wealthy friends. But to put that amongst the masses, yeah, that's a bad message to be putting out there. Because some stupid ass will try that and take penitentiary chances, and then come to find out he gonna have to have a procedure and he can't afford it. And now he's homeless because he can't afford this procedure. Because he tried to do
You
it,
gotta GoFundMe.
just
You'll
couldn't
have a
pay the bill. He
GoFundMe.
lost everything. Yeah, well, they'd be like what Shan likes to do: sell fish and chicken dinners at the church to bury the kinfolk. Yeah, we ain't doing that shit.
All right, this my.
I agree with he. Can I add to it? May I? Real quick. I don't think y'all understand. He was correct about the kids and how much they're the ones that need it the most. And they'll need it the most when they get older. I don't think that y'all understand that 90% of y'all kids eat hot Cheetos and Takis for breakfast.
Yes, they do.
And they buying it from kids at school, even if they're not getting it from your house.
Yes.
So they gonna need it. Eventually they gonna need it. Their stomach gonna start hurting. So average middle class people, keep your health insurance, please. That's just from teacher to community.
Well, and
Okay.
most these companies have pretty much affordable insurance, right? If you work for a company, and then I don't think it's not because of health. I think it's the cost of certain things, the medicines and the certain procedures. That's what makes health insurance so bad. Not the fact of the way it's set up completely. I don't think, just my opinion. I just think it's just the cost of certain medicines and the certain procedures that they overcharge you. Like if you get a tube of some type of ointment, they charge you for the whole tube, but you don't get a Q-tip for it. Hey, tell them some bitches, I know you're gonna charge me for that. Give me the whole goddamn tube. You already gonna charge to my health insurance. Let me have that tube. You can request that.
So, can I answer a question that was in the chat so we can better understand why there's a penalty for healthcare? No, can I?
Yeah, you go ahead. Go ahead.
So Obama did make it mandatory, and you do get penalized. And the reason that is because back in the day, healthcare used to have limitations. For example, if you had pre-existing condition, you couldn't get healthcare. There was a max. There was like a $2 million max on healthcare. And so he had to rearrange it so that these limitations can be taken off, that people can still get healthcare. And there had to be a catch in there, right? It's like, okay, if we influence more people to get healthcare, it won't be such a hit to the insurance company, because the insurance company is like, what? So it had to be like, if we get more people on insurance, it should even out, some of the costs, because the insurance company is like, I don't want you if you got, like, if you got some stuff going on, why would I take you on? So it was kind of like a negotiation between health insurance and government trying to figure out a way to, take some of those limitations off.
The other
that was my understanding of it.
Yeah, and the other thing to that though too is the more people who aren't on healthcare, and like I said, they typically end up going to the doctors after something has already happened, and then they can't pay it. Who do you think that they're going to pay? Pass the cost down to? So we end up paying the cost for people being uninsured, right?
Right. And then let me just say another reason why you need health care. And this is up to you. At the end of the day, John Q, have you ever seen a movie John Q before? That is a real life situation. Okay. You ever in need of a transplant, they're gonna put you at the bottom of the list. You got because at the end of the day, you can't pay for it. Like they have the right. There are some private hospitals that are not like the charity hospital, and they can turn you around. They can give you bare minimum. And here we go. So why would you want that? This is your life. Your health is your wealth. So I don't think that that's a lot to ask for your health, to make sure. And you need to go to the doctor regularly. You need to have a relationship with your doctor. I can text my doctor. That's the great relationship I have with my doctor. I know everybody don't have that relationship. Yes, I can text. When I had my little incident at Mistaken's house, I text my doctor. And it was like, 9 o'clock at night? It was pretty decent hour. No, that's horrible. But
people to the hospital now.
That's why I had to explain that, because she put that out there and I had to fix it.
It was not Mistaken's fault. I think that those were brought to Mistaken's house. I don't think it was Mistaken's.
Well, you had your dope fiend episode. Is that what you're saying, Shane? You called your doctor for your dope fiend episode?
Yeah, I called him en route to the hospital.
No.
Hey, you never partook in no recreational activities?
No, I don't do drugs.
Yeah, you don't have to. That's normal. I mean, it's
because
he doesn't drink either.
Because you judging all the people that has tried, candy that got a little extra substance to it. You call them dope
I'm not
fiends.
joking.
When you think of
Yeah,
a
you
dope
are
fiend,
He's
dope
you think of
fiend.
joking.
somebody that's like scratching their neck
I
and
was
like
for one
addicted
night.
to it.
No,
That
you're
ain't
a
a
dope
dope.
fiend. You're a goddamn dope fiend.
Yeah.
That's
All right,
what I feel like.
that was
For
an
one
excellent topic,
Just say
man.
no.
Yeah, just say no to drugs. I think one of the things that I think we lazy. I think we're lazy and we don't like to research. I think that we okay with just being given the information and we don't want to look past that because we feel as though other people has done the work, so we don't have to go further than that. But if you read between the lines, if you actually read what you're signing, if you actually ask questions about things that are given to you or policies, then that's when you begin to become more knowledgeable and you can come familiar with the options that may be there that wasn't presented to you. So I just challenge any and everybody to look further and see what your options are. You have a lot of free things that come with those healthcare insurances that you don't access or that you don't utilize because you don't know it's there. You're just used to what everybody else is telling you and how everybody else do it. If you do want to become an entrepreneur, I suggest you do explore your options because it may be a better fit for you to pick up a policy. But before becoming a straight entrepreneur, you may want to hold on to that job a little bit longer until you're able to get yourself in position. Because the beauty of being an entrepreneur or self-employed or not having to punch somebody else's clock is the time. And time to me is more valuable than money. So you're able to do whatever it is that you want to do. And that's the trade-off. You get to do whatever you want to do, move how you want to move for the most part, navigate and not having to be obligated to be here at this time and doing these things. But you're going to have to do some extra work because it's not easy. It's not an easy life. Yes, there are some pros, but you work harder. And in order to be able to do that, you got to make money to be able to afford those healthcare insurances that's not tied into a job. So if you just look at everything in its entirety, then you can understand how it can be beneficial for you. But based off what I'm hearing, and this is great information, is that if you don't have one, it's best to have one than not have one. And the older you get, you do uh, have some unusual things that happen out of nowhere. You know, we can't really predict anything and everything that's going to happen throughout our life, but what we can do is we can be prepared for it just in case. And that's just how the world works. You know, we don't we don't have complete control over the rules and the laws on earth and how it operates, but we could become familiar with it and seeing how we can use it to our advantage. But people just ignorant and they don't want to learn. Like they okay. One of my ex coworkers told me that he couldn't see himself giving up meat for a certain period of time. Like he's actually addicted to eating processed meat, and he can't fathom, and he's out of shape. He's out of shape, and there's a lot of people that walk around with that mentality is because they've been grandfathered in to an unhealthy lifestyle due to their parents. And so it's going to be up to us to make sure that our kids are not eating that crap to the best of our ability. And it starts young. It starts young. I kind of frown upon, I don't judge, but I do frown upon parents whose kids don't eat vegetables, they don't drink water because it all had to do with you. You was the one that made that environment where they don't want to drink water, they don't want to eat veggies, they don't want to eat fruits. They can only eat chicken nuggets from McDonald's is because it was you. That child came in not knowing anything, but they was introduced to the lifestyle, the food lifestyle that you giving them. So I just think we just got to do better. And research and knowledge is one of the best tools that we can have as adults, and we can pass it along to our kids. So let's just make sure we do better. Stop having that lazy mentality. And you can start today. Just because you didn't do it as a child don't mean that you can't start to put some of those things into play right now.
Can I just give one thing that has been helpful for me to take small steps? Is this app, and y'all probably know about it. I didn't know about it until somebody shared it with me. Is an app called Yuka, Yuka. I downloaded that app, and what it does is it's for beauty products and for food. And you can scan it, and it will literally tell you whether it's good or bad, like in terms of the kind of chemicals that it have in it. And then you could press it, and it'll tell you exactly what impact those chemicals will have on your body. And then it will give you natural alternatives. So you can still use the same, so you can still use the same products, like if it's lotion or a certain type of makeup, or if you eat a certain brand of food, things like that, you just scan it. And so when I do my food shopping, I'm literally walking around using this. So that was just a small step that I took to at least minimize some of this, bad stuff that I'm taking in. Yes, it's called Yucca, and is like a little carrot.
Okay.
That makeup
And it's
blend has a
free. It's a
lot of
free
you women
app.
in the chokehold.
All right. Guys, just tuning in. Welcome to Lapeef-ing Sunday. Let's make sure we hit the like button. And also make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you guys haven't already, go ahead and share the stream. Go ahead and share it. I want to thank everybody that has been giving some great advice on this Sunday morning. We're doing something a little bit different. So I kind of like to dance around a few different topics, some things we need to know. We can talk about some relationships, and I just trying to make sure that we better ourselves along this journey on these Sundays. We had one super chat that just came through. Actually, a few of them. Harrison Davis, 499 says salutes into the Black Dragon. $2 says can't do edibles. Smoking is healthier. AP Accountability Partner, $20 says salute to the panel. Much love. I want to thank each and every last one of you guys for your contributions. Salute to you. What's going on, Precious? Got Precious in the house, y'all. Black Sakan, I see you. Joe Lee. And Leroy Jenkins is in there. Edward Gilbert, Andre. Loop God TV. Shout out to everybody, man. Good to see you guys. Erica. Let's go ahead and keep it moving, man. We're going to go ahead and get into the main topic, and then we'll see how we're looking on the back end for that last topic, which I think is a good topic. All right. Any of you guys, have y'all ever experienced dating online? Dating apps? Was it your thing? Yeah. Okay. Jay, Shan, Day West. Anybody else? Okay. Luis. You guys are experts, it sound like. I mean, y'all dancing and stuff. So when I said the word dating app, it sound like y'all just real familiar with it, huh? What about you, Cookie? Have you been on dating apps at all? Experienced it in your life? I'm not sure if she can hear me.
She's frozen.
Yeah. Just come on back. I have not been on a dating app. I have not signed up at all. I don't have a ghost account. I don't even know what dating. I had to Google when I was trying to create the thumbnail as far as what I was going to use for it. And I just seen a couple things come up. It's just so many dating apps. I guess they have some that's mainstream, and then they got a bunch of miscellaneous ones, even catered down to a city. So they no line seems to be a thing. Luis posted this in the King Talk group. So I appreciate you for this, because I looked at it and I thought it'd be an excellent topic to discuss, because this seems to be the future now. Seems to be the future. And we've discussed dating apps on here before, but this is a different angle. I am curious about getting you guys' perspective on this. I am about to play the video, so let me get your undivided attention so we can go ahead and cook on this. Here we go.
Come on, Shane.
About the phone. Simply put, it's a disaster. Whenever technology comes into an industry, it consolidates it. Mating has been consolidated in the worst way. 50 men on Tinder, 50 women. 46 of the women show all of their attention to just 4 men, leaving 46 men pursuing just 4 women. If mating was a country, it would be more unequal than Venezuela. We have huge mating inequality. And here's the problem. When people don't get together and there's no pheromones and there's no vibe, women, and we don't like to say this on the left, primarily try and make very quick assumptions about this individual's ability to garner resources in the future. So what you have is this concentration of interest, and you're ending up with Porsche polygamy, where 10% of the men get 90% of the attention, which does not lead to good behavior or form long-term relationships. E-commerce was disastrous for retail. Social media was disastrous for everybody. Online dating is disastrous for mating and for men. It's terrible.
I'm gonna go ahead and play it again because I know some people minds process a little bit slower, and sometimes they may be thinking while it's going on and just miss the whole entire thing. So this is for my slow processors right here.
You asked about the phone. Simply put, it's a disaster. Whenever
Make sure I got Shan attention because Shan don't be paying attention sometimes. You good? Okay. That's
You
fine.
ain't lying.
Yeah. Let me make sure I got everybody. Cookie, you back? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm back. It was
Okay.
I don't know, my router was too
Okay.
far in the corner, so I don't know.
All right. All right. So this is for my people with that, what is it, ADHD and my slow processors. Here we go. No offense. I'm sorry if I offended anybody.
you asked about the phone. Simply put, it's a disaster. Whenever technology comes into an industry, it consolidates it. Mating has been consolidated in the worst way. 50 men on Tinder, 50 women. 46 of the women show all of their attention to just 4 men, leaving 46 men pursuing just 4 women. If mating was a country, it would be more unequal than Venezuela. We have huge mating inequality. And here's the problem. When people don't get together and there's no pheromones and there's no vibe, women, and we don't like to say this on the left, primarily try and make very quick assumptions about this individual's ability to garner resources in the future. So what you have is this concentration of interest, and you're ending up with Porsche polygamy, where 10% of the men get 90% of the attention, which does not lead to good behavior or form long-term relationships. E-commerce was disastrous for retail. Social media was disastrous for everybody. Online dating is disastrous for mating and for men. It's terrible.
All right, let's go ahead and get into it. Online dating is disastrous for mating and for men. I'm going to go ahead and start with Luis, man, since you sent this. What were your thoughts about it when you came across this?
I agree. When I first, I actually follow him. He's a really good researcher and a really good talker. He is very focused on pretty much men and men's kind of space and trying to bring a lot of awareness to a lot of young men who are going through this sort of evolution change. I agree. Look, the technology is great. You know what I'm saying? It has really streamlined a lot of things for us, but I think that it has over corrected a lot of the things that it doesn't need to be corrected. You know what I'm saying? People have been finding each other since the dawn of time. Like, we don't need an app or a application to kind of now filter people. We run into people every single day on our commute to work, at lunch, on our commute back home, at the gym, at the grocery store, at that local spot that you like to go grab a cafe, grab a coffee or a snack, your favorite restaurant, out and about in the most socialist places, in the most least expected of areas. You run into people in a very consistent basis, and you create a sort of a pattern. There's this conversation that is brought up. There's a rather uncanny situation that is presented, right? It's like, I'm familiar with him. I've seen her. Like, I got to go and talk to her. There's that ability to kind of get outside your comfort zone and actually go up to somebody and spark a conversation. I feel that it has removed the confidence from a lot of men and a lot of people at that, because it's so easy to sit there and type and write the perfect message and the perfect thing, right? As opposed to actually walking up to somebody and sparking a conversation and having that organic connection, right? And being able to kind of get out your comfort zone. And as far as the comment that he made about 90% of women giving only 10% of men all the attention, yeah, that's true. It's very, very true. You don't even need a dating app to see that. I think Instagram is the greatest dating app out there, because it gives you insight to how people lead their lives. You know what I'm saying? Their habits, their interests. You look at who they follow, the things that they end up liking, right? And you can gauge a sense of the people that they crowd around. Now, a part of it is that Instagram is a show. Some people are faking it on there. There is a level of discernment that you have to take. but it gives you a peek and an insight of how people are really, really leading their lives. And unfortunately, more people are more inside typing on the computer or typing on their phone than being outside and actually interacting with people and finding who they're best compatible with. So it has really taken a turn. And I think now with the whole AI experience, like I don't even get me started with that. There's a whole AI app now that creates this sort of fantasy person for you, and that is also something that's in the works. So don't be surprised when you start hearing about that more often. But yeah, we're definitely in untraditional times.
All right, interesting. Go ahead, Day West. I'm gonna get your thoughts on it. I know you're an expert on these dating apps. You've been out here exploring. Go ahead.
Expert? What's wrong with that? Anywho, so we kind of like briefly touched up on this topic a couple weeks ago. And like you said, it's literally very lazy to be on a dating app because it does take away actually trying outside. Like, I feel like guys are very much so confident because you can just go right back shop. If this one don't work out, just go back shopping on the dating app. Like people are too accessible. And it's creating just a cycle and nobody's connecting. And I think it's just a place to get some free goodies because I think a lot of dudes just look for booty calls because it's so easy. Like you could just take a girl for a couple of drinks. Some girls, I can't even just put on the dudes, women too. I mean, it's like a mating ground, like y'all say, and it's pointless. Apps have made things too easy for people.
So you think that women are not taking it seriously as far as dating? You think that they're just on there, like they understand what it is and that you're not going to really find a good quality?
I'm not gonna make it a woman thing or a man thing. I feel like there's women that just look. That's just like how y'all feel like. What was who we talking about the other day? Neo. So what was the artist?
Out there, Jill Scott.
Yeah, we got some Jill Scotts out there that just want to get it in, and we got some men just want to get. I mean, and some people are serious, so I'm not gonna make it like a gender role.
But you know what's really happening is the algorithm of how these apps are set up. That's really what's happening. It's like just think about it. If everybody was to find each other tomorrow on these apps, there would be no more subscription. Nobody will be paying for all these features and bells and whistle and the monthly subscription for all of these things. These things are designed to keep you on the app and designed to keep you still purchasing packages and stuff like that. Like, I would say this: a woman will get an avalanche of interest from men, and in that pile, there will be a few of them who are very serious candidates, and she'll open up one of them and read it. But by the next day, when she's expecting a response from that man, she will have already gotten another avalanche of more message from more men. And it goes on and on. And by the time she looks up, she can't even find the message from the guy who he thought that was serious because she's buried constantly. And a lot of women are overwhelmed from the amount of requests and the amount of interest from men, right? And they unfortunately don't know how to filter, or they haven't even developed a whole system on how to filter some of the men who are showing interest. And sort of they give up and get off those dating apps. And that is really what's happening because there's huge amount of requests for such an amount of women. So
and that is true. But also after COVID, I feel like a lot of those dating apps like skyrocketed, not only for social anxiety, but a lot of people are working at home now. Some people don't have time. But if you don't have time to like go find somebody, then you don't have time to date. Like you don't have time to give nobody your full attention if you can't go outside and go to a bar or go to have an activity to where you can find somebody else. Maybe you just need to stay at home and figure it out until you can get back outside and have some genuine interaction.
Yeah, I agree. All right, go ahead. Go ahead, Cookie.
I don't know what's going on with my internet. I know it's raining outside, but I'm upset. But anyway, back to the subject. Online dating is disastrous for mating and for men. Is that right? Yes. I don't like to speak on what's disastrous for men. Only a man could tell me if it's disastrous for them. I think it depends on what the man is seeking.
Well, it was based off what the guy was saying.
Yeah, I didn't get to hear none of that because I was too busy downstairs moving my
Okay.
freaking modem and calling Xfinity, but it is
Okay.
what it is.
Okay. Jay, give me 1 second. I'm gonna send it to you, and then
Okay.
come back to you. Go ahead, Jay.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. I mean, I think online dating works for a certain set of people. You know, if you have like young professionals or young black professionals or just young professionals in general who have time restraints, meaning like they're not at happy hours, they're not at most places where you can meet people casually and interact. I think it kind of scales down and puts everything in front of them. I think for people like that are willing to invest that money, because you have dating apps and then you have sites that you pay money and they scale it down to people that fall in your category, and it's like, okay, here is your pot of people that are serious as well because they're investing this amount of money into this. Here you go. I think that's a good way, but a lot of these dating apps are, they're just pretty much hookup spots, and there's nothing like face to face, because you have people that are excellent online daters. Literally, profile pic is popping. They got the chat GPT words listed perfectly. Oh, he's in the woods and he's a man's man, and he work out and he, everything is perfect, and you draw their interest, and then you have a date and you get in front of them and none of that is accurate. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with the women, and then there's code words. Like, you got to start reading into stuff. Whenever I was on there, because I was on there probably like 2008, 2009. That's when I was really like
really?
trying it out for the first time. And I had to get hip to it and cross out certain words. Like when I saw free spirit, like I X that out. I automatically know that meant hoe. You know what I mean? That was just a great word. Yeah, code words. Free spirit. Whenever somebody admits that they're a free spirit, like, come on now. They're not serious. So people are on there looking, they're shopping for what can put them in a better position. When you meet somebody like the traditional way, whether you got a friend to know a friend, whether you're in the supermarket, whether you're in the drugstore, those are good, because there's certain things that you're going to see in person, you're going to hear in person, you're going to feel in person that you won't get online. Things are presented really excellent online. And then when you sit in front of these people, it's like, damn, like you can't even hold a conversation. Like all the things you type to me, all your interests, you can't convey that to me verbally while we're in front of each other over a damn expensive dinner, you know? So I think if you're serious about it, you'll invest in it and do it the right way. But if you get on one of these cheap apps, I don't know what's out now. I know like back at that time, it was like Black People Meet. And you can even tell from the pictures. Like if I see you in your backyard with a house dress on and a bonnet, like you're not serious about dating. Like your presentation is wrong. You know what I mean? Like when I don't know how many of y'all watch Kendra G, but if you ever watch Kendra G and she pulls up a person that's laying down in bed with a bonnet on, oh, hey Kendra, hey, how you doing? You know what I mean? Your presentation is wrong. Wear something presentable, line yourself up with the camera, talk. You know what I mean? You got people sitting down eating hot Cheetos and Takis talking about, what's up, Kendra? I'm looking for a nigga with 200,000. Bring your goofy ass down. You're not serious. You know what I'm saying?
God damn.
these niggas in jail calling in there talking about, yeah, I'm looking for my queen. Nigga, get out of the feds first. You know what I mean? Niggas being there with their little iPhones in jail. Yo, fam, you in jail. Your background is foggy as hell. Like you been in there pulling on yourself for the past, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not serious. So all I'm saying is, if you're serious, there are apps out there where you have to invest some money. You will meet some quality people. They'll scale it down for you and find out all the stuff that you may not have the time or resources to find out. Like, oh, nope, this nigga got charges. He's fighting 7 charges right now. Or nope, he got married yesterday. Or nope, he got a baby on the way. You know what I mean? Like,
Nope.
they'll find out everything for you, scale it down for people who are serious. You know, if you out here just looking for a quick bang bang, keep it moving, yeah, continue.
I just don't
Look,
see any
see,
reason for
Jay,
me to pretend like I'm not these things. Yeah, I like to read a book or two. Yeah, I like to work in the garden. Yeah, I like to go fishing. Yeah, I like to spend some money on some Louis Vuitton every now and then. But I like to fuck too. And I also like to make love. And I prefer that if I could get it. And then some fucking too.
Go ahead, Luis.
no, I was about to say to Jay, like, look, there are apps for specific things, man. Like there are the more serious apps, and then there are the more casual apps. You know, the like, we're just they're the situation apps. You know what I'm saying? Let's just call a thing. They're the situation apps where people are in a different type of season, they're in between relationships, or they just, you know what I'm saying, had went through a breakup and they just need something for to get through the cold winter. Let's just call a thing. Like there are all those types of apps, and there are people who are looking for those specific type of arrangements, right? And then there are the apps that are a little bit more serious, where people are looking for serious candidates that they could get to know and build conversation and see where things lead to, and hopefully it blossoms into an actual relationship and further on. But you know what I'm saying, you got to understand what type of what are you looking at, and what type of app are you on looking for those types of things, man. I find it very interesting at times, and this occurs in real life too, even when people are outside. The people who are serious are trying to convince the people who are not serious to get into a relationship, and the people who are not serious are trying to convince people who are serious to not commit into a relationship, right? And it's like people who are want the complete opposite keep finding each other and keep banging heads. They understand who that person is and what they are, but they're trying to negotiate with them to be their person because they like certain attributes. Either they're attractive, either they have a funny personality, whatever the case may be. There's something about them that they're initially attracted to, but that person does not want the type of situation that you want. And sort of you find people compromising on their non-negotiables and stuff like that, and they throw that shit right out the window because they understand this is the person that they want, and they're willing to go through the mud in order to wait until that person becomes serious. But by then you've already invested way too much time in the wrong person, and the person that you should have been invested in is like 2 seats over, and you would have been much more further ahead.
All right. Go ahead, Cookie.
I think the guy on the video was correct, and I'm gonna say that because I always thought dating apps were like strictly for hooking up. Yeah, I'm not a hookup individual, right? So I'm always looking for relationships, but I always assumed if you were on a dating app, until I did some research, that's what you wanted, right? So then I found out that there were dating apps that you had to pay on, you got to get verified and all this other stuff. I think the dating app um, epidemic is just you have to invest in it for it to work for you, just like you do anything else. You have to find out which one of these apps is for you and what you're actually looking for. Um, get verified that these people are who they are, so you don't get what was it, catfish and all that good crazy stuff. But I think in general, because of the statistics that the man said in a video, that a lot of men, the other 90% of the men and the women that are going for the other 10, those men may get just a little discouraged when in reality there's a whole world of women out here that they could be talking to in real life. So I think it is in a way destroying mating and just dating for men in general. And unless you're on the right app, if you want to find a good chick or a good man, you have to invest in it just like you do anything else.
All right. Go ahead, Miss Taken.
All right. So I've never been on a dating app, so I can't really speak from a level of experience. But what I can speak from is a different kind of experience in terms. Well, so I had read an article about like making choices, right? And what's the difference, like how do people, like what strategies do people use to make a choice without necessarily having all of the details or information beforehand. And it was saying how like typically there's two strategies that you have, people that are maximizers and then people that are, it's called like satisficing or something like that. Satisficing, that are satisficers. And so, like with the approach that maximizers take, they're usually always trying to be open and looking for the best opportunities or a better opportunity, right? So they keep searching, because they keep thinking that I'll be able to find better, I'll be able to do better. Whereas the other group were the satisficers. They were more along the lines of their strategy was, I'm going to decide what it is that I'm going to need to be satisfied. And then once I identify those specific things, it'll help me narrow my search or help me make my decision easier because I know exactly what I'm looking for. And so I think it was saying like the results of the study is showed that the maximizers ended up being like less, like more depressed. They felt like the need for perfectionists, like they couldn't get stuff right because they just kept searching for something better, things like that. And then they tended to have more regrets because they looked back and saw that they overlooked or missed opportunities that would have been better for them. And then as satisficers, they actually ended up being happier, more satisfied. And when we apply that to dating or using dating apps, I think most people with the dating apps are the maximizers. They operate from trying to get access to the most potential partners that they could get and always have some in a on an end, on the side, on the back end where this could be better. This could be better. So they have too many options, and then it makes it more difficult for them to make a choice. And so I think it has to be an approach to how you online date. And I think that approach is more along the having a mindset of a satisfier. Already know what it is that you're looking for. Have that specific. And if as you're going through as soon as a person does not meet those specific things that you know you're going to need to be, satisfied in terms of a relationship, don't even waste your time. So I think everybody's just trying to access as many, like just what's that saying? Throw your net,
Throw your line, yeah.
yeah, to catch as many fish as you can, as opposed to just, taking a hook and getting one. So I think that would probably help. with people doing better on, if they're going to utilize the dating app to have a purpose, just like you do for dating. Know what
I
your
think I think women should only be allowed to be given like 3 options per week. And they like based on their filter criteria, okay, I want this, 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 and this, and this. And here's a net of pool of men. And then here are the 3 candidates based on the criteria that you presented. It will show you 3. And you look at 3 and analyze those 3, and you're like, I don't like this one, I like that one. I think I want to talk to that one. And you just focus on that one single one, and then see where it goes. And if it doesn't, then we'll present another 3, as opposed to looking at a whole laundry list of men. You're never going to make a decision that way. Let's just be honest. People, like the way that we are wired as people, it's not conducive to making the best decision. We sell that idea, but like realistically, if that were true, people will be having high results at a high pace.
The league does that.
You have a limit on swipes a day. Back in the day when I used to do that, you have limited swipes sometimes.
Ow. You do?
Look, it's another thing though. Like you'll get a person's phone number, right? Y'all start texting, and then it is like kind of like dies down and kind of get like dull. So then it'd be like, okay, back to the shopping cart. But also I think some guys get tired of like spending their money on dinners over and over and over and over again. And some women use it to get free meals. The brokies, like they do that. They go use them guys up for, and then so some guys just be like, now we'll just go do coffee. If coffee works, we can go get some dinner.
Well, that speaks more to the dating culture has changed, right? It's like we've had this conversation before. I think it's those scars from those, about like coffee dates and people just trying to get to like quickly know and like, are we even aligned? And if it's not, like, why I gotta make a huge investment just to find out if we're even in alignment or if we even have the same shared values, right? And sort of like the dating culture and how people move in and out has really changed, and I see the sentiment on that side as well.
Shan?
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I have used dating apps. I'm not an outside person. I know people like keep going outside. I'm a homebody, okay? That's why I'm always available for these podcasts. But so it's hard for me to go out just to, for bars. I'm not interested in all that. I'll do it for somebody's birthday and all that, but I'm just not a bar hopper or any of that nature. And usually when I'm like walking the belt line, I'm in a zone. I'm there for a reason to release, not necessarily to mingle and stuff. But so dating apps kind of work for me. And it worked for me because it opens me up to people who are just like me, who don't like to go outside. I don't want you to be outside, Also, there's a no pressure conversation, so to speak. You get to know a person, you speak to them, and it also opens you up to being more diverse. I think that I've never opened myself up to diverse dating before dating apps. So that was definitely when I did. I have somebody now, but at that point when I did do it, I did open myself up to a more diverse group of people. Most people didn't even make it to a date. Like like I said, I don't like going outside. So you had to pass a whole lot of rounds just on the phone, like the conversation. I asked a lot of questions, especially learning from you guys. Ask all those questions over the phone. And then we can meet for coffee. And then we could, if it goes on from there, we can go on a date. My time is precious to me. But like Miss, I guess it depends on your intent, who you're looking for. People of my age, I find it to be very beneficial. I am of age. I like to find widowed men or men who are divorced. That's my very narrow window. I don't want the bachelor. I don't want that guy. I like men who have shown that they have been in a commitment. Maybe they've learned something from that. I like that, so that's what I find in dating when I do on a dating app. So
question. Well, when you weren't in a relationship, I mean, even though you prefer dating apps or that's your system, when you were out anywhere, were you still like your antennas up? Like if you saw somebody, at Walgreens, at the
I
supermarket?
never see anybody at Walgreens.
Well, supermarket, just out like running your errands.
I'm a crazy. My mind is kind of crazy a little bit. Like, and I understand that about myself, and that's why it works for me. I'm not one. So I always find it interesting when I see women like, oh, I slept with this person. I can't find one that I want to sleep with. Like it's not. It doesn't work that. My brain doesn't work that way, right? I'm almost the exact opposite. And I don't necessarily think it's super picky because I'm not looking for this gorgeous guy. I like to get to know a person on a level of intellect, talking to him, and then that's what makes me feel like and that gives me the space to do that. So if I'm just going off of looks, any of these guys probably be great, but I would never know that unless I just give out my number to people, whereas the dating app kind of gives you that time to get to know people a little bit, and then the steps are a little different. So
all right. Go ahead, Brother Hink.
Yeah, these dating apps are funny.
I am boring. Like that sound boring. I am.
What?
Right on. God damn. But the date app thing, man, it seems like it's another app to, I guess, for women to deceive men, to put on the front. I mean, that's what it seemed like to me. And the men use the app to just fuck on the women. I don't blame them. If I was a dating app, that's all I would use it for. Just to get the end so I can fuck on your ass. I'm not looking for a relationship on some type of game app, because that's what it seemed like to me. I'm not looking for nothing serious. I'm looking for something to do quick, fast, and in a hurry. 20 goddamn minutes. That's all I'm looking to give you. You may be looking for a relationship, maybe. And that might be your intentions. But that's not mine. You may be just looking for me to get you a meal. That's not what you're going to get out of me. I'm going to take your black ass to Starbucks. And we're going to have a good time. If we go from there, you decide we're going to go to the hotel, then let's take it to the hotel. But yeah, that's what it seems like, man. You're not going to get anything real out of these dating apps. Again, these women going to put on a fake facade of a picture and look for validation. That's all it is. Oh, I got 21 hits on my profile. Yeah, you're not looking for nothing real. You're just looking for somebody to make you feel good, or to give you a compliment, or tell you how pretty you are, or how nice you look. That's all you're looking for. You're not looking for nothing real. If y'all won't get on there and just get dinner and get fucked on, then keep on staying on these apps, man. I believe in doing it old-fashioned way. I'm going outside, I'm going to roll up on you, I'm going to have a conversation with you. I'm not going to go talking through this app so they can filter out every goddamn thing I say. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing that. And I'm not going to send you dick pics, and I don't expect you to send me pussy pics. I want to see the real goddamn thing. I don't want to see some online fake shit you probably downloaded from Pornhub or something like that. No, that's not what I want. I want to see the real goddamn thing. Show me your drawers, and I'm going to show you my goddamn boxer briefs.
Yeah. Did you land, Hank?
Yeah, I'm done. When I be quiet, I'm done.
Cool. It's so interesting. We're talking about this, and I had a conversation with a few people recently that I met off Clubhouse that we've have a long-standing good friendship, and they were telling me that they were out at brunch, and they noticed that there are a lot more women outside at brunch and all these other things than there are men, right? And she's out in LA, and she gave me that example. And then I was talking to one dude, and he went to like a festival with a girl that he was talking to, and it was just like 85% women, 82% women, and the other small percentage is men, right? So there are a lot more women outside in a lot of these different places, and I've seen it too, because I've been outside the last few weeks on and off, and I've seen And I've seen way more women outside at brunch and all these places than men. It's like the numbers are not even close. It's literally like 85, 90%, and the other small percentage is like dudes who show up. You know what I'm saying? A lot more women are outside. So you can't say, guys can't say that the women are not outside and they're not visible. Like, where are you? They're literally in all the spots that I be going out, and I don't even be going out like that. And I think the reason why a lot of the women are trending towards dating that because the dudes are just not out there outside at some of these spots. You know what I'm saying? Depending on what city you're in, depending on what the venue is. But I think for the most part, a lot of women are participating in being in certain spaces in larger numbers or congregating in larger numbers than there are men in those spaces.
Hank.
So then I go.
Okay, I wanted to ask Hank something. How you figure that all the women on there faking and not the men ain't none of the men on there faking either? Why do you go left like that towards women?
Say
Why
that
did you,
about Hank.
Yeah, y'all don't listen, do y'all?
no,
I
I
sit there
heard
and
what you
told you.
said.
If you heard what I said, then you heard me sit there and say that men use it to fuck on you. They not
Yeah,
looking for nothing.
but that's not what you started out with. You started out with
No,
that's another way for women to lie and do something else
yes,
to men,
I
and then they
described the
get
women
fucked on.
first because I
I'm
believe.
not offended. I don't use dating apps, but I just was wondering.
Okay, but I'm explaining to you.
Okay.
I go women first, ladies first, and then the men second. So I describe the women what they do on the shit, and then I describe secondly what the men do on the shit. Don't worry, I didn't leave nobody out.
How do you know if you don't be on dating apps though?
Who,
That's
me?
what you heard. I'm talking about him.
For
Like
me,
yeah, you saying like you know or something. Is that what you heard or you not speaking
yeah,
from?
that's what I heard. And my buddies use it for. They brag about it. They talk about it. And I said, I don't blame them. Do what you got to do. If that's what's going to help you get some ass, get you some ass.
But
I ain't
not
got no issue with it.
everybody's looking to slut us women out. Some people have potential to try to look like for people because they're at home.
Yeah, I know they are until they can get them cheeks. And then they done with your ass.
Everybody eventually wants some cheeks at the end
Okay,
of the day.
that's what they doing it for. And that's
But
why they
doesn't that
going back
make
to
y'all
the app.
villainous
They
to
realized it wasn't
women that
nothing
are?
serious. Go ahead.
Doesn't that make you villainous to the women that are looking for relationships on the apps? I'm just curious. Or do you automatically
You may
assume
be, but
she just?
he may look like a villain, but you a fool for using it. Think you're gonna find something serious on that shit.
Okay, I understand now. That's why I ask questions. Okay. So you feel like she not deserving because she's stupid enough to jump on the app?
Look, I don't think anybody should. I think those apps should be banded out of style, out of date, because it's a waste of time to me, in my opinion. I
Yeah.
believe, like I said, the old-fashioned way. I also said this.
Oh yeah,
I'm
me
going
too.
outside
Me
and have a
too.
conversation.
It's actually worked for some people though. So
Well, congratulations to them. But I bet you most of them had bad stories. I bet you more bad stories than good stories. I promise you that.
I do know because I know that's how Tatiana Ali. I know you guys know from First Print. That's how she met her husband on a dating app. And all.
Rich people dating apps are not the same.
Well, it was on True. What's the Harmony one? It was on that one.
They still got
eHarmony.
levels to
Harmony.
it,
She met him
though.
on eHarmony, and so But what I was going to say to you is, and two, I think that what I have learned about dating apps too, I've met some great people on dating apps. It may not be a love connection. I may not like you, but it's a good networking thing too. I'm gonna tell you, my son got an intern, a great intern from a dating app. I'm on a dating app. So you can use it if it doesn't end up being a love connection and you guys vibe and then you end up talking about different things. You have a cool relationship. Sometimes people be blocking their blessings just thinking about sex all the time, thinking about what this person can do. And maybe God put that person in your life for something totally different, So sometimes it's just, hey, I got this guy. I see, it didn't work out, but then you learn something else about them. You learn something from them. Maybe that's the reason why that person came into your life.
Jesus, I can't believe it, Jesus.
All right, let me go ahead and get
I'm just giving you how my life has been blessed through dating apps.
All right, let me get Viz, and I know he called in. Go ahead, Viz.
How is that delusion if that's happened to me? Y'all be crazy. You know this.
No, it's because when they against something, they are strongly
It's
against
special
something.
people.
There
I
is
call them
no
the low
convincing them
learners.
there's a good side to it.
Hey man, shout out to Luther Vandross. He said it best. One night. Oh, that's all they're looking for. Huh? Shout out to Luther.
All right, go ahead, Viz.
Yeah. So I actually met my fiance on social media. I don't, and as I
No,
stated
he
before,
said social media. He didn't say a dating app.
Yeah, I didn't do the dating app. Me personally, I'm not into dating apps. Just because I'd rather go outside and meet you in person. You know, that I've always just been that type of guy. If I see something I like, I'm gonna go after and go get it. Regardless if it's on social media or in person, in which I personally prefer. Now, as far as dating apps, I've worked with a lot of couples that got married and they met off of dating apps. So I get it; it works for some people, but I think that it depends on that person's temperament, what it is that they've been through, things of that nature. Typically, what I've found is that people that go to dating apps are usually ones that's been, hurt in previous relationships. So they're looking for that easier route to meet somebody, and which of course is absolutely cool. That's perfect if that works for you. But I don't think that it necessarily works for everybody, and it also allows for people to take advantage of other people. I think in an easier manner on dating apps. But I mean, again, everything works differently for other people.
Yeah, I think, like I said in the beginning, I definitely think if you invest into it, like with the higher end dating apps, if you're serious about it and you have them put in the work to vet these people out for you, to vet out what you're looking for, then there's a strong possibility it can work. I've heard of a few people that have met on apps, but they were serious. They put in, and it was kind of pricey, but that's what they wanted. So they were serious about it. The average person does not invest in, because you have people that are literally teaching people how to hustle on those dating apps. Make this type of picture, say this in your profile. They're teaching people how to hustle. There's chicks out here that are eating free off of straight meals, eating free all week, like Monday through Saturday. They got a new meal, they had a new bar, new restaurant, and some dude is just paying, and then you got other dudes who are out here, and it's dangerous too, yo. I got a homeboy. This another thing with those apps. Is that who you think they are? You know what I'm saying? You meet somebody and you roll up on a straight nigga with a wig on. That's dangerous, yo. You know what I'm saying? Like, my homeboy told me this story. I laughed. It was hilarious. It was hilarious to me because I'm like, fam, stop messing with these apps. But he pulled up. Like, first of all, your FaceTime is broken. Like, come on, this is what you selling. Oh yeah, my FaceTime is broken. Nah, we're not playing those games. We're not playing those FaceTime games. We gotta have some type of, if we're doing that, we gotta have some type of video conversation or phone conversation. Met up with the person and he's looking around, and it was you already know what it is, yo, with a wig on. Like, they didn't even try anything. It was like a beard and a wig presented as a woman. It's like, what type of games we playing? That's dangerous, yo.
Y'all look at Hink face.
You can't expect me to take you seriously.
No, that's dangerous, because my thing is, like, I know another time I went on there. Why are you in this section? I specifically said I'm looking for women, African American women. Why through these swipes are African American niggas dressed like women in my section? You understand what I'm saying? They should make a section specifically women, guys dressed like women, guys who are looking for guys dressed like women. I'm a man looking for a woman. Why are you in my selection process? That's dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, I gotta cut this
I
off.
can't
There's
believe I can't
iffy ass
believe
games being played out here. And I'm sure, who knows, women. I don't know if Shan or any of y'all or Day West on that app. Have you ever had that issue? Like, where you going through the swipes and it's like, hold on, I'm looking for a
Wait,
man.
on our behalf, or have we seen like?
What I'm saying is, when you're doing the swipe thing, right? And you're looking for a man, have you come across a not man?
We don't have those issues, but there's a such thing, of course. Not on the I have not. I actually think I've heard of that happening to one person before. It never happened to me though.
Come on. Tell that truth. Tell that truth.
Not me. No, not me.
What I'm saying, okay, well, that's good. That's perfect. But I know in our section at the time, it was like, yo, what's going on here? What are we playing games here? You trying to get me put in jail, yo? Like, cut this off, yo. That's another thing. It was getting spooky on there too. Like, hold on, you gotta look at the throat, you gotta look at the hands. They got these big ass Andre the Giant hands. Yo, like, okay.
Gotta be like, has she had kids before? That make a man really want you to have kids. She can have kids. Okay, I'm cool. I'm safe.
That's another thing on the apps. It's like you looking for kids now. They better have kids. Yo, it's tricky out here because that's full proof. Let me see some baby pictures. Yo, let me see some hospital pictures of when you was crying and push. Getting too spooky.
It's wild out here.
Hey man, look, what the hell I want to get on that date app for? I don't need that bullshit, man. I'm old school to the motherfucking heart, and I'm okay with that shit. I'm not getting on no goddamn date app to catch up on some bullshit. I don't want to need important. Like, I'm getting a bunch of wolf tickets. She being sold to me. Yeah, I'm good on that. Go to the house. Motherfuckers are sleeping on the goddamn mattress on the floor. You know what I'm saying? What do I need that for? Is that what I'm? No, I'm good, man. Let me talk to you. Let's have a real conversation. I don't want to send a bunch of text messages back and forth. That's not me having a real conversation with a woman. I want to hear your voice. You understand what I'm saying? I want to know that late at night when it gets, then when the sun go down, you talk sexy to me. You know what I'm saying? I want you to say, won't you come over? The kids are gone. They sleep. I'm here. That's what I'm talking about. I'm on the way. I'm kicking out a door like I'm the police. But y'all these goddamn dating apps, you don't know what the fuck you gonna run into. Like you said, Jay said he ran into some goddamn transformers. They sliding on him. You know what I'm saying? Putting on the goddamn front.
What's up, Jay?
Is that how they came at him, JR? With a goddamn dress on. Looking like Ikane. Nah, fuck that shit. Fuck that shit.
I feel you, Hank. I've always had a fear of running into like
Jeffrey
Dahmer. Like,
me too, Cookie. Me too.
That's why I never really. I was like, you meet up with this person and you end up in a van top, pig top with tape on your mouth. I'm too paranoid for it. I ain't gonna lie. I can't do it.
Hey, so I'm interested in how to work out. So for the ladies who have used these dating apps, where do y'all meet up and like? Do y'all meet them or do they come to your house and pick you up? How does that work?
You meet them
No, they got it. They're smarter these days, Hank. They're smarter these days. You remember when we were in college, right? It used to be that they would invite you to their house, and within 3, 4, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, shit start happening. That was back in the days. But now, I think they're smarter now. Like, if you look at the girls, in fact, the girls have flipped the table on the guys. So instead of them bringing you to the house based on what I'm seeing online, because I've been out of the game for more than 10 years. So based on what I'm seeing online right now, so what they do is that they want you to take them to lunch, to dinner. They're going to get money out of you, and they're going to get money out of subsequent men. So they're not just getting money out of one man, they're getting money out of subsequent men. But back in the days, we used to go to their house straight. You see? So it was men then back in the days. But now it's women ripping men off.
So they working y'all like tricks.
He ain't never lied though.
Nah, is they working trade like trees, because I'm been out of that shit. But guess what? Like Trey is saying, Trey is still getting to their houses, for some reason, because it's not every woman that is that smart. But at the same time, it's not every woman that is out there to seek a man for dinner or lunch. Some women are really out there for genuine thing, because if you see online, based on podcast, some are really going out there to find a man to marry. And some men are really out there to marry a woman, but the majority of them are just using each other.
Correct. I agree.
What's going on, Trey? What you got on it?
What's good with y'all? Look, my thoughts are simple. I enjoy dating apps. I think they're great, especially if you're a man who's not trying to get married and you don't want to be in a relationship. This is a godsend. There's nothing but a bunch of women on there that's willing to have sex with you. This is perfect for me. I love them personally. If you are not smart enough to realize when you're in the lion's den, that's your fault. If you gonna hop in with a bunch of lions, and then when lions start acting like lions, you want to complain and cry and say, well, why are they treating me like this? That's your fault. You got in there. If you're going on a dating app looking for something serious, you are asking for it. Hint hit the nail on the head. It's not for people who are looking for serious relationships. Certainly not Tinder and Bumble and Hinge. These are not places where you're going to go find serious relationships. You are silly if that's what you think. You're a silly person if that's what you think. Most people that go in there are having hookups because it is centered and based around hookup culture. And this is what these big time CEOs won't tell you. They'll try to make it seem like, oh, well, we engineered these apps so people can find love. No, they didn't. They engineered them so people would pay money. That's what this whole thing is built on. And they want the men to spend money. I heard somebody talking earlier about spending money on these apps. The way the algorithm works is the more money you spend, the less matches they send you. That's how it works. So they tell anybody who's paid attention, who studied this stuff, you never spend money on these apps. You only use the free ones. I'm telling you, you can go look it up. They've studied this stuff. You never spend money on these apps. So if you want to actually go out here and just have a regular lifestyle where you're not looking for anything serious, you're not looking for a relationship, you're not looking for anything as far as getting married is concerned, dating apps are perfect for you. I went on a date last night with a woman I met from Hinge. She was more ready than I was. I was chilling. She was trying to figure out when we was getting out, when are we leaving? How long are we staying? Yeah, this is how it works. This is how it works on these apps. I don't know. This is the lion.
So it may be the woman that he's choosing, because I never slept with no dude, Now I do. First of all, let me just say this, Trey. I'm
Shane,
sorry.
that's not true. That's not true at all.
First of all, let me just say this. That's his experience. I don't know what kind of women swipe right on him, but I probably wouldn't have. Okay, so that's just being honest. I mean, not to knock you. Not to knock you. Not to say anything bad about you, but listen to how
already did. You just did it.
Listen, I'm pretty sure his profile portrays what he's saying right now. You know what I'm saying? So because they have an option to say casual, they have these things that pull out casual, having a conversation with him. I'm sure that's going to come out in some type of way. So that's what I mean by swiping right on you. But that's not everybody, every woman. I will agree. If anything, I feel like it's more the opposite. I do think that women be playing guys, going on these dates with guys, and you can possibly get a meal a day from a different guy if you really wanted to. In all honesty, because I'm of age and I got 2,000 in the waiting room. You understand? So imagine if I were young and You can play it like that. I'm just
Girl,
not
you
that.
ain't gotta be young.
I'm just
Sha-
not that.
oh. That's what I was going to
hang on,
say.
hang on, hang on,
Shan,
hang on,
your age has nothing to
hang on,
do
hang on,
with it.
hang on, Shan.
Hey,
That's because you
Trey,
don't
let
you don't
them
understand the
talk.
dynamic of how men
Let them
use
talk.
dating
No,
apps.
Trey,
Have you
let them
ever
Now,
seen it? Have you ever
you know,
seen the way men use dating
Trey
apps?
Trey wants
Men
me to put him on the
men
chokehold.
One mic, y'all.
men
What I can't
men
hear what he's saying.
men swipe right on everything.
Oh,
So
sure.
the fact that you would have a lot of men that want that really doesn't mean anything. Men don't really go through. Most men don't even read the actual profile. They look at your picture. She good. Swipe right.
I get that.
You could
So
write
what
on
I-
there.
so-
You could write it. You could write on there. I have 1,300 bodies, and men wouldn't even pay it attention because they just only looking at your picture.
So Trey, so what I was saying, so the reason for me
Don't
saying
listen to Trey.
that,
Talk your shit, Shan.
the reason why I was saying that is that's 2,000 men. If I were that chick that could be possibly, I'm telling men the game that could possibly be played by a woman if I didn't want nothing, because a woman would have to agree to have sex with you, right? So she could be like, I'm not gonna have sex with him. I'm gonna go on a date with him and get this meal, and tomorrow it's gonna be another dude, the same thing. Another dude, the same thing, and you all the time thinking like I'm going to get hooked up. And the whole time, if she's smart chick, she just keeps her legs closed and keep going on these dates. So I'm just telling you from a female standpoint how men can get played. Just like you're telling women how they can get played, I'm telling you how men can get played on the date. Now,
Shan, check this out. Go ahead, finish up.
So I get that you're saying men just swipe right, but some women do the same thing. That she knows that she don't want to date that dude.
No, they don't. Shan. They've already done they've done the studies on this. They've already done the work on this. Women only swipe right about 5% of the time. They've already done this. They've already studied it.
Okay. So what I'm saying to you, even on the dudes that she is swiping right on, right? And I guess it depends on the woman. I'm just giving you, just like dudes swipe a whole bunch of times, I'm just giving you the other standpoint on women can play men too, men play women. It's two people playing each other. And that's why you just got to filter out, pray to God, pray on it, do whatever you got to do, because it's playing going both ways, and it's giving the app a bad name just because of what's going on.
Sound like a fair
Okay,
market.
this is what I'm trying to say, right? Shannon, it has nothing to do. Shan, I'm sorry, Shan. It has nothing to do with your age. If you're 18 or you're 55, men that want to sleep with you, don't give a damn. You see what I'm saying? Okay, good. Then another thing is this, right? When it comes, okay, back in the days when I was in college, one thing that happened is this: this is how men view women on app. They view women as people that just give up the bucks or people that want to eat. We've always thought about that. When I was in college, there was this lady, right, that I hit her up online back in the days, you know, the Black Planet thing, when we used to have Black Planet. So I hit her up online, and then she invited me to her house. I went to her house. Then we were talking. This was like 2009. We were talking and talking and talking. And then the next thing when our son came in, a 17-year-old son came in, I was 30. I was turning 30. So our 17-year-old son came in, and I was like, I was uncomfortable being there because the son, I don't like to deal with, women with kids, especially when their children are there. She literally wanted me to go into her room so we can have sex. She took me to her room. I'm telling you, she took me to her room and wanted to have sex. And I said to her, I don't have condom because I wasn't prepared. I just came to chill. After back and forth, she said, no, I can go ahead and have sex like that without condom. I'm like, you must be out of your damn mind. There is Walmart, just 1 mile down the street. I told her, let me go to Walmart down the street. She said to me, if you leave this house, you ain't coming back. I left the house. I called her. I said, hey, I'm heading to Walmart. She's like, don't come back. I told you you're not coming back. So this is very bad. But fast forward to many things I've seen. You got to understand when you think that women are going out there getting men to pay for lunch for them, that's not true. Because a lot of women are complaining that they can't even get men online. Because men also know that certain women, they read your profile, they know once you put foodie on that profile, is a red line. You see what I'm saying? Once you put foodie, you put foodie, like to eat.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't. If that's your experience, I
Not
can't
for
knock
me.
your
That's a green light. I know how to get at you.
No. I'm talking about men see it as women that just is, but because one thing is this, right? One doesn't fit all. But like I said earlier, both men and women have gotten smart in this thing because both have used each other. But should we continue using each other like that? If you need a relationship, right? Stay away from online. Just don't do online if you want to get, because that thing is the most laziest way to get a man, is the laziest way to get a woman for relationship. If you want to do like Trey, bounce that shit out. Online is perfect. If you want to get a man for the night, online is perfect. But if you want a relationship, somebody to marry, stay away from online, because men will never take you serious. They might see that you're very educated, you're a teacher, you have all these things going on, but they will never take you serious. Online is not the best thing for it. Do the traditional way, like Haynes said. Meet people where men can. Not a bar, not online. The grocery store is a good place.
I'm hold on, Ekene, I'm a little bit.
I know you're going to be offended, Trey. That is right. The AI is against you.
The phrase one night stand didn't start with online dating. It didn't start with online dating. People were meeting the old-fashioned way 50 years ago, and still we're only having one night stands. So,
but look at the marriage rate. Look at the marriage rate then.
For people who want to hook up, when people have been hooking up.
Come on, Trey, don't stop deceiving women, man. Trey, stop deceiving women. Look, no. Now you're being disingenuous. Look at the marriage rate then. The marriage rate at that time, when it was traditional, was super high. Look at the marriage rate with online dating was 24%.
The marriage rates were falling long before online dating came along, sir.
But online accelerated it. Online accelerated it. Okay, let me say this, right? When I was in college, without online, chances of me getting a woman to, sleep with was very small. But online blew it wide open, made it unlimited. Like, in fact, I was tired. I was exhausted because online make it so easy to get it. But in person, man, in person is like 3-4 weeks. You got to meet her. You got to go here. Okay, there is always one that falls off. I've met people on like Maryland. I remember when I told her I was in DC, right? Last time I took a girl from Chevy Grove Station and took her to my house just to chill and talk. Then I took her back to the Chevy Grove Station so she could catch a train back to Silver Spring. You know what she told me when I was at the Chevy Grove Station? I thought we were going to have sex. I was shocked. I met her at the bus station. So back in the days, yes, you can get 1 or 2 people, but online they're like 15, 20, 40. When I was on Black Planet, it was wide open. So he was right.
You ain't never prepared.
Black Planet.
You ain't never prepared.
I blame.
I didn't even have a Black Planet.
Hold on, y'all. I think Dave West is trying to say something. Go ahead, Dave West.
I blame Backpage because they shut down Backpage, and those type of men lost their access to get what they need to immediately. But I mean,
oh shit, man!
This is why I promote for women. Y'all need to stop. Open your legs to all these men. Keep your legs closed.
That'll never happen. Y'all got liberated and y'all lost y'all minds.
Yeah, I'm with Precious on this. What's Backpage?
It's like a prostitution ad.
It used to be
prostitutes.
It used to be like a little page, kind of like underground page where you can buy, purchase what you need for your personal needs. And now they banned it. It's no longer accessible. So I feel like people switch to dating apps, which is better for them because they're getting it for free. Like y'all said, the roles reversed. And that's why I said earlier, I'm not just going to put it on men, because there are some women out there that have sexual appetite. So, but that don't go for everybody though. So
I have something to say.
Well, go ahead.
Tinder, Humble, Hinge, whatever. I'm not on any of that, but I do know on certain apps that you have to be certain types of people to get on to. And those are like the celebrity dating apps. I know that because I know a few people on them. So not maybe those apps are the ones that where you have to pay money to
The
and then
league.
and then you get less matches. The reason they're paying the money is so they can weed out hordes. They're paying the money on purpose so they can get verified and actually try to meet people. So it's not necessarily a scam, it's just a way to elevate your status on the app. And the woman elevates her status on the app. So I'm not a whore. I'm paying this money to actually find someone. Now, some apps you can't get on unless you are a celebrity of some sort, or I can't remember. It was one Simone Biles met her husband on a dating app, right? But it was only for celebrities or like professional athletes and stuff like that. As far as Backpage goes, I kind of agree with Day West because um I remember that being a thing in college. I went to a PWI and a lot of people would be talking about it. What is this Backpage? And unfortunately, me being a naive person I was, I went and looked and I was like, oh, this is what Backpage is. So now it's like instead of having Backpage, you're swiping right on Tinder like um Quagmire on Family Guy and just going after every woman you want, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you a good dude. That doesn't make you you're bragging about this shit like it's not herpes and stuff out here. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't know what to listen to or believe anymore. I know I'll be outside the dude I'm talking to now. I met outside. So I don't know anything about this so it just don't sound
So,
like a flex. That's not a flexer. That's all I'm saying.
so to me, if a dude's on goddamn dating app, man, you ain't got no goddamn game. You ain't got no goddamn. You don't know how to fucking have a conversation with a fuck woman. You can't if you're serious about a woman. Now, if you just use it to fuck on a woman, like I said, I understand. But the Backpage, it look here. If I was one of these dudes out here doing that, I'm not gonna just limit myself to just the one thing like Backpage. I'm doing Craigslist. I'm doing Backpage. I'm doing Bumble right, Bumble left, whatever the fuck the name of y'all apps are. I put myself out there on everything and see wherever the ass is coming from, I'm gonna do what I gotta do to get that ass. But I'm not gonna just limit myself. You're not gonna just limit me to some goddamn Backpage where all the freaks and the heathens go at. No, I'm gonna be all over, whether you say it or not. And
You say the freaks and the
everybody
heathens
have a
like you're
brown
not
goddamn.
searching for ass though.
Oh, hell yeah.
You said what?
You say freaks and heathens on Backpage like you're not the one out hunting for ass. Like that's backwards to
No, if
me. That don't make sense. That
no,
you just as much
no,
a heathen as them.
I'm saying that's what if I was doing that, that's what I would be. Look,
But
I
you a
got a problem
heathen. You can admit that you're a heathen if that's what you're doing, right?
Yeah, that's
that's
what
what I
he
said.
said. So
Oh,
basically, he's saying
okay.
he wouldn't limit. He's saying basically
I'm
he's
not.
not just going to the direct source of ass. If there's other
No,
ways and sources where he could
Why not?
manipulate to get ass, and not just go to the
because
direct source.
Because y'all
look,
want
why would I put all my
safer
eggs in
ass.
one
Is
basket?
that what it is? Y'all want to
No,
take y'all
I'm not
dirty
gonna put. Look
selves
here.
over to the safe ass on
Y'all
the
too
app.
raunchy
Okay,
to me.
say what you want, Cookie. Just like I
Pissing and
diversified my
pond.
income and my money, I'm gonna diversify my opportunity to get some goddamn ass. I'm gonna
You
do
guys,
what I got to do.
at what
I
point, let me ask
understand.
y'all a
Y'all
question.
just don't hear how bad that sounds. It sounds horrible.
I think Shaman got a question. Go ahead, Shaman.
At what point are y'all just gonna be serious about life? Like, I feel like y'all just at a playground and y'all just out here playing games and just not serious about life at all. At what point are we gonna grow up? If we're adult and really adult, you know what I'm saying? Like,
So
at
is
what
is the only way to be an adult is to be in a relationship and get married? That's the only way.
It's
I
definitely
know,
not just
and to
showing up to
lead your
fuck.
Yes, that's tacky.
Okay, but there's other
Setting
ways. There's other
standards
ways
for
to show. There's other
yourself
ways to
would
show
work.
adulthood outside of being
So
in a relationship.
using these dating
I don't need to be
apps
married
as a way to
be
hook
an
up. What do
adult.
you think that is? That's it's a goddamn game. If y'all just using it to go out to eat to dinner, you're not serious.
Oh, for sure. The
Nothing
same.
about that
It's
serious.
both ways, Hank. I
Sh-
agree.
I don't think no man is
Sean,
using
you
no
guys are
I
not.
don't think they're doing that.
I'm not just
I
saying
don't think
men. I'm speaking to women as well, both who are playing games. This is not a one-sided thing.
Yeah.
This is
Man,
both.
I hope somebody in their 40s are not doing this shit. What we're talking about. I hope they're not. Now they may be.
They do it more. They do it worse. Oh no,
Like
they do it worse. They do it worse.
I'm talking about those type people. Look here, Shane. If you're in your 40s, you still out here looking, trying to on apps and all that. I feel bad for you. Go to oldfolks.com or something app to get you a mate or something.
They do need to make it maybe responsible.com or get your shit together. I just don't understand. You know what's so funny? I talked about this on Friday night.
Retread.com. I'm gonna start a website called retread.com.
Check this out.
Oh, on there trying to get
Hold on, y'all.
Listen.
Let her finish, y'all. Let her
I
finish.
said this Friday night. If we put as much energy in trying to get coochie as we doing better in ourselves, we'd be some powerful people, baby. We will be some powerful people. We will be some successful, career-driven, wealthy people. If you put all that coochie in that energy into trying to find some vagina like you do, baby, we will be successful. Some successful
I think
people.
men do, and they still able to do what they need to do at the same time. Now you got some weak-minded men.
Not according to those stats.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. But you got some men out here that's all they do is think about ass all the time, and that shame on them. Like I said all the time, a woman don't move me. Nothing about what you saying or doing gonna move me like that. I don't give a shit. You got some
I know that about you.
I don't care. Money. I'm all about money. Fuck your pussy.
I don't care.
You a dime a goddamn pussy. I'm about money.
So are you about money or are you about going to Backpage, swipe left, swipe right? Which one?
He gets in a relationship.
That just proves the point. There's two different type of people. Some just want ass. Some people want.
Don't correct her. Day West love me. She want to see if I'm on Backpage so she could get at me. Ma'am, I'm not on Backpage. I'm not on none of these goddamn.
I know you're not on Backpage.
It's not my thing. I'm telling you, it's not my thing. I don't have to do this. Look here, let me tell you this. If I was single, I'm gonna go outside, I'm gonna meet you, I'm gonna get with you, and you're gonna fall in love with him. To the point you telling all your friends and your family, man, I want this man to marry me.
I can't relate.
I don't know what dudes you used to. I'm gonna go in there and have a conversation with you. We're gonna sit down and I'm gonna find out what you all about. I'm gonna interrogate you. And if I like what I heard, I will continue. I'll take you out and I'll get you something to eat. But if I don't like what I heard, I will leave your stanky ass at a goddamn restaurant. But hey, but for your sake, you ain't got to worry about Hink no more. Hink's occupied. Hink got a lady that I'm about to get married to. So I'm not doing these sites. I didn't find her on the site. I met her at a goddamn cafeteria. They don't even call them that no more. But that's where I met her at. So I'm good. I can have a conversation.
But look at it this way, Hink. Hink, look at it this way.
Your assistance.
You see,
I don't need your assistance. I don't need your assistance.
You mean my assistant? My assistant?
No, I don't. You don't come prepared. Where's your brown bag at? So let me.
No, I'm not talking about giving. Oh, go ahead, bro.
I know. Let me finish. I got you, brother. But I believe in my son. Same thing. I test him. How do you talk to a woman? And I'm listening to him. What would you say? Because I don't want you just to be on apps all day trying to pick up women. That's not how you get to know anybody. I don't get to know you on the app because everything you show me on the app is a facade. It's fake. It's not real. I don't want that. I don't want to be going to a app if she swiped right, didn't like what us. No. Go out there and have a real conversation with these ladies, fellas. And women, if you want a man, have a conversation, figure out what he's talking about. Because he just be all talk and no action. He's got to live up to what he says. If he doesn't, you don't need to be with him. But if that's all you're looking for, just to get fucked on, then stay right there. He gonna oblige you. Go ahead, Ikane. I know how bad you want
it. Okay. Yeah, the thing is this: they're not going to listen to you, Hank. They're going to argue with you. They're going to say that you don't know what you're saying. But what you're saying is 100% correct. Just like I said earlier, is the laziest way to deal with, to get to talk to somebody. You got to go online. That is the laziest way. If you want to put in the work to get somebody that's going to take you serious, you got to get off online. You got to meet that person. You got to have that conversation. Don't make the first step by being online. Get off online completely. Don't let a man know that you're online, because as soon as a man knows that you have an online profile, that's it. But the thing is this, let me put it this way. Like I said, you guys are never going to listen to us. Because you know what? You want to be in charge of the relationship. You want to be the one that will determine when the relationship starts. You want to be the one that determines when it ends. You want to be the one that will select who you marry and deselect who you don't marry. But at the end of the day, you're going to be the one to pay the price. Because guess what? Men's time in life is huge. Women's time in life is shrinked. But if you know that you want a man and you want to marry a man, let a man come to you. Let a man meet you. Get somebody to vet the man for you. If it turns out right, then go for the marriage. But if it doesn't turn out right, if what you're hearing about a man doesn't look good, move on with your life. But I got to tell you, if you stay online trying to get somebody from Tinder or whatever it is, it's not going to happen. The success rate in relationship in those apps are 3%. According to statistics, they are 3%, which means 3% of people online marry each other. Most of them don't marry. About 50% never get to meet at all. 50% never get to meet. About 37% gets to meet. Then 3% out of that remaining 50%, which is 3% that makes up the 47, that makes up to 50% minus the 47, get to marry. That is a low success rate. So if you listen to him, you're gonna make it happen. But if you laugh at what we're saying, guess what? Your age is increasing. Your time to be married is decreasing. But if you just want to have fun in life, come on now, don't listen to us. Do your thing.
You're talking about for women, though, right?
Exactly, for women. For women, 100% correct.
You talking to the comments?
I think that's for
No,
anybody who's trying to get married,
no,
period.
I'm talking about no, I'm not talking to the comment. I'm talking to everybody. Everybody. The people on chat and the people on the comment.
All right. I already said I wasn't on no app. So my dude is not a fictional character. He's in per real life and in person. But I feel what you're saying, sir.
But I gotta ask you a question. Your dude, how long have you guys been together?
2 months?
2 months.
Mhm.
How old are you?
Why? Well, how
No,
do
I'm
I
just
look?
asking.
How do I look?
If I want to please a woman, I'll say 21.
How do I really look?
No, I'm not gonna say how old you look, but I'm gonna say how old I think you are.
Okay.
I would say 35.
Okay. So what do you
Okay.
have for the 35-year-old?
So for a 35-year-old woman, you just met a man, you're in 2 months relationship with him, that is not good.
Okay.
Yeah. Because if you're 35, you're supposed to have been in a long distance relation, no, I'm sorry, in a long-term relationship by now. So you can't celebrate and say, hey, I have a man at home. And it's only you guys been together for 2 months. That is not good. I'm not going to brag about that.
Says
And
who?
then,
And who came up with that rule?
okay,
I
let
met
me
him
tell you something, Trey.
outside. That
I've
was my
always said
point.
this.
I wasn't
I'm
bragging.
No,
confused here.
Hold on,
no,
y'all. Yeah, one mic.
no, Trey, let me put it this way,
I
right?
wasn't bragging.
It's
I
not,
just said I met him outside. That was the
oh, you
whole
met him
point.
outside.
Yeah. That was the whole
But
point
what
of the
about
conversation.
the one before that? Did you meet the one before that outside too?
Every person I've ever talked to was outside. I'm not an online person.
Which is good, but then you got to have to keep them so that they will not going to be coming and going. See what I'm saying? That's what I mean by
Yeah,
that
but the
35.
last time I was in a
Yeah.
relationship was a long time ago, though.
Ekene, the better question
By
would have
choice.
been, how long have you known him?
No, she said it's 2 months.
No, she said they've been together for 2 months. She didn't say she knew him for 2 months. So I understand what you're saying. What the point you're trying to make is that she's saying that she's with someone and she's saying that they've been together for 2 months. So to speak about somebody that you've been with for 2 months, my next question would have been, how long have you known them? Because 2 months is fairly
It's very small. It's very
small.
fairly
Yeah, it's a
small.
amount
Yeah.
of time for you to say, okay, this is my man. There has to be some type of history. So that
Exactly.
Yeah, but yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't run
but
my genie lamp and he popped up. That's not how that happened.
yeah, but Jay, look at it this way, right? If let me just say the way, when we talk, let me say when I ask a question like that and she said 2 months, I think if I'm the one I respond, I'll be like, okay, I've known this person for 2 months. Like some people ask me, how long have you been married? I say I've been married for 5 years now, almost 5 years, but we've been together for almost 14 years. I put it right there, right away, so that way
now.
That's not what you asked her, Ekene. She answered your question.
Okay, Trey. This, I understand that she answered my question. I'm not doubting that. I asked her a question, right? But those kind of questions are open-ended questions. You can always add something so that way I don't have to continue asking questions. But she doesn't have to answer it like that. I'm just saying, like me, this is what I would have said. Jay is right that I should have asked more questions. I'm not doubting that. She is right by answering question in parentheses and just keeping it like that. But what I'm saying is this: for me, I usually would answer a question like the way she did, and then say, okay, but we've been together for 14 years. You see what I'm saying? So that it won't be like, okay, I just knew this person.
Yeah, but
That I knew how devoted they were.
You never miss an opportunity.
So
You
what was the
remember that
point of her
time you went
age,
to
though? What was the point of asking her age?
you remember that time when you went to that girl's house and you had to leave and go to Walmart and get condoms? You once again, you're not ready. You got to be ready, Ekene. Come on, brother.
No, guess what? You know why I wasn't ready? Because I wasn't coming there to have sex. I was coming there to just chill and talk. Because that's what we agreed upon. Let's sit down and talk.
Yeah. You could have did that on the phone.
But no. But remember, back in those days, online was still coming up, right? Nobody was spending time online talking for weeks and days. Usually online back in those days, you talk for maybe a day or two and then you meet in person. Now, I don't know how it's done now, but I know that now it might be gone for weeks and months. And because I've seen people say that, oh, I talked to this person for 1 year. I'm like, what the hell would you be talking to somebody for 1 year online?
Okay, I got a question.
Why would you be talking to somebody past three days online?
I got a question.
Yeah.
So you met this girl online, right?
Yeah.
Did you take her on a date yet? Have y'all went on
She invited me. No, she invited me straight to her house.
She invited you straight to the house. You already knew to drop them draws. I don't know why you acted confused.
No, but that wasn't the first time I've been to a woman.
If her requirement wasn't for you to court her, it was only time to fuck. That's it.
Yeah.
No, but guess what?
Real quick, if she invited you straight to her house, that's a clear signal that she's
guess what?
trying to have sex right away, or she's trying to rob you.
But guess what? That is today. But back in those days, guess what? You see women that will invite you to their house and you guys never do nothing back in those days. You see that she wasn't even the first person.
Correction.
Back in
You
those
didn't
days.
do anything, Ekene.
No, because that. And guess what? I am not. But I am not that forward. I'm not that forward when it comes to stuff like that. I've always respected a woman by going to their house.
If a woman invites you to her house, I already know what time it is.
Hey, Trey. Let me say this to you, right? I was in college. Yeah.
So why
I
did
was
you
in
go to the
college.
little health clinic on campus, man, to get your one of them brown bags?
No, she wasn't even in college. She wasn't in college. I was in
The
college.
bodega.
She was not. I was in college, but she was not in college. But guess what? The thing that I love about those is that's why I was taking you guys that if you can go back in the days, you're gonna make a lot of things right today. But if you go by what is today, you guys are screwing up and gonna keep screwing up. Because back in the days, you meet people online, some people invite you to barbecue. They will
So
invite you
was
to
it,
their child's
That's
birthday.
an open event of other people around. That's different.
was this your first
But
time
And
in the
guess what?
States?
That was like, this is 15 years ago, brother. 15, 16 years ago.
so
Well,
you
I
saying
don't
you
know, man.
haven't?
Because I mean, 'cause,
No, I've
brother,
been in the
I
state for
don't.
20 something years.
They didn't turn you on to say, man, when you go to the
Hey,
chick's house, man,
hey,
you know what
let me
time
let
it
me
is.
let me say this to you, Hank. But I've had 2003. I've had somebody that I met her the same day. Shit happened the same day. Not even one time, couple of times. But what I'm saying is this, right? When you talk to somebody on the phone, there are people you talk to on the phone. You have great respect for them that very moment. You see what I'm saying? Because the communication is good. One thing that don't get in your head is to box every chick you meet. You see what I'm saying? Because of the way they communicate, you have that, you develop that respect that's for them. And when you go to their house, you want that respect to continue because that is not what is in your mind. But then when they step out, you become surprised because guess what? Trey, I'm coming.
That's not why she's
This
inviting you over, sir.
I
She's not
res-
inviting you over to be respected.
but guess what? I have already built that respect for her online. I built that respect for her. But to come to her house, right? And she said, because there's something you guys are not thinking. That's one thing I'm going to say. When this lady invites me to her house and I came to her house and she want to have sex without condom, and I told her, oh, I can get condom at Walmart 1 mile away. And she said, no, you guys should be alarmed about her because you know what? Why would she be asking me to
I'm
sleep
more
with her
alarmed that you
without
showed up
condom?
without a condom. That's what I'm more. I'm more alarmed that
Eka,
you showed up
Okay,
without one.
I could give that to you if this didn't happen the first time. You said this happened like the second time, man. This
no,
wasn't the
no, no,
first
no.
time it happened to you, brother. See, that's where
That was the first. That was the
you
first
lose
time.
me, man.
No,
So the first time
no.
you
Okay,
got
let me
caught
get. Let
slipping,
me get.
right.
Let me get
It
you
didn't happen
back
again, bro.
because
Come on,
that's
man.
not what I said.
No,
No,
that's
no,
not
no.
what
Hank, let me
Oh,
get you back. This is what I
What
said. This is
happened
what I
when you
said,
try to
Hank.
come for
I
me?
said the
They
first time.
jumping on your
you
The,
gonna let
ass.
this guy guide you over in the home state? You better not.
uh, okay, okay, Hank, check this out because you didn't understand what I said. I said the first time somebody came to my house back in Maryland when I was in Maryland, and she stayed, and then I saw her off to this bus station. On our way to the bus station, then she said to me, "Dang, I came to your house and you didn't have sex with me." I was taken aback.
So,
There was
okay, so
condom in my
why
house.
didn't
There
you
was
knock it?
everything.
You
You said
didn't have no
what?
condoms then? You didn't
I
have no
had
condoms
everything in
then?
my no, I had everything in my house. But I invited her to my house for the first time. She came. This is what I'm trying to tell you. Some men have respect for women, but the women they have tend to have respect for have no respect for themselves.
Hey,
That's
I
what I'm
can
How,
trying to
how are
understand.
tell
you?
you
Okay,
guys.
how are you being
You just
disrespectful if
Let me
she's
asked
ask
me
you
inviting
my
this
you
question.
anyway?
age.
How are you
That
being
ain't
Well, I got one more
respectful.
question that we can ask. How
Yeah.
was she dressed when you met this woman? How was she dressed when you met this
Jeans,
woman? Was she dressed like or was she a modern type woman?
moderate with jeans, full jeans and a regular t-shirt. Just that with a backpack. That's it. Nothing sexual. Not she didn't even look sexy at all. You see what I'm saying?
I can.
So
I
Does
got
that red shirt come with a cape? Does it come with a cape? Because it sounds like you're trying to save a woman that didn't want to be saved.
that's what
yeah,
I'm
you
trying
do
to
sound
tell
like
you. That guess what? Not that I'm trying to save someone that, but I had a genuine mind. I had a mind that you see somebody you can understand. I came from a region where they taught you that respect, show respect to women. But then when you see those women, they're like, hey, why you not beating it up? I just saw you right now. Why you not doing shit? You see what I'm saying? You're like, hold on a minute, what are we doing here? Because you're not coming with that idea of, oh, let's go bang it up. No, you're coming with the idea of, let's have a conversation. Let's talk. Because you gotta know one thing. Even when I came to America, right, I have come across black women that I went to their house and all we did was sit down and talk and then ask questions and even have a discussion. And then everybody goes home. And then another time we met, something happened, right? But that first time was introduction. That doesn't mean it's always going to happen like that. But guess what? If I have the intention of having sex and you don't have intention of having sex, right? It's not good for both of us. I have to be in it and you have to be in it. You see what I'm saying?
We get it, Akane. You're
Yeah.
Growing pains,
You're
man. Those are called growing pains, man.
Let me ask you a question. So when she sit there and said you didn't have sex with me that next morning, why did you stop her before she went out the door and gave her some dick then?
She said that after she left.
Oh man, Link, you're not listening. You see, Jay just said it. She said at the bus station. At the bus station, not even in my house.
Okay.
Yo, it's just growing pains. What he is explaining is what we probably all went through at some point. Some later than others.
I mean, Jay, come on, man. Now, I don't know which time was first. He got caught without a condom. He got caught slipping. Yeah, that don't make sense to me.
No, it wasn't a growing pain to me because it was a disappointment. Because to me, I wasn't. I don't think that they would act like that, or they would request that from me, or they will insist that I do that if I'm not prepared for it. You see what I'm saying? It's just like you can. But
the worst she could tell you is no. You could put your move.
The worst I can tell her, not she can tell me. I can tell her is no, because she was the one reaching for it, and I was the one that was saying no.
Why would you say no?
You say no.
Was she ugly?
Because what the fuck? Men can say no. Is it only women that say no?
Okay, so it sounds like you rejected her. It sounds like you rejected her then, and that she.
I rejected her.
No.
If you were going to reject her, why'd you go to her house in the first place?
Look at this. Look at Trey's pissed off that I rejected somebody. Come on, Trey.
No, I they were typically overweight and they weren't attractive. I've rejected women too. But that's not the point.
Oh,
the point
good.
Is I would never go to a woman's house that I wasn't planning on having sex with. When she invited
it's just
me
like
over,
a woman coming to my house and she's not planning to have sex.
Women are different.
It's like a woman.
I'm not talking about a woman. I'm talking about you as a man. If a woman comes over, she may or may not. I don't know. That depends on her.
What the hell are you talking about, Trey?
I know for a fact if a woman is inviting you over to her home, it's what's up. It's time. She ready. Because otherwise she wouldn't let you in her space. She would never let you in her space. And furthermore, at a small minimum, I'm at least.
But guess what? That's why some women call you guys 5-minute men. That's how some women call you 5-minute men, because you're not ready. And you just go right in, and then the next you just drop the whole goddamn thing inside her because you're not even ready. And then she calls you a 5-minute man.
All right, hold on. We're gonna go to Hank. Go to Hank, and then we're gonna go to Cookie.
Yeah. I think he's just talking to be talking, man. You full of shit. You the one sitting there talking about we call us 5 minutes. 5 minutes. If that's all we needed, that's all we need. What does it matter? Your ass didn't have a condom. She invited you over the house. She knew what was going to be up. You just wasn't up.
But I'm not going to take that risk because I didn't have it. I'm not going to take that risk, man, bro. There's something called high piece, man.
Maybe you should have got you one of them blue pills from your old head friends, and maybe you was able to perform. I don't think you didn't have no condom. You had to build up the nerves to get your shit going, and the blood work wasn't right down there. And so you had to find some way to get yourself going. Oh, let me just act like I got
Hank. You and I grew up at the height. No, Hank, you and I grew up at the height of HIV, right?
Stop.
Hey, Hank, you and I grew up at the height of HIV, right? And you know, one thing we did in the 90s is to be very careful how we did shit, right? Am I correct, Hank? We grew up in the 90s, and we know what happened in the 90s, right? So I gotta tell you, I was not putting no.
You're trying to deflect me to go.
I'm not deflecting.
Can I ask you a question? When you got with your wife, did you get an STD check before y'all got together?
Who?
No. Did y'all get?
No. I didn't understand your question.
Did you get an STD check before y'all first got together?
I always do.
cap. I don't believe that.
Every year, man. Man, you don't. Okay, Trey, the fact that you don't do doesn't mean I don't do. You see, your morality is not my morality. My morality is high, bro. There are things I'm not gonna do. I'm sorry. There are
Great.
things I'm just not gonna do.
And I'm glad that's working out for you, Ekene. But at the end of the day,
Of
guess
course
what?
it does. If
Guess
it
what?
doesn't work
None
out
of
for
us,
me, I
regardless of your
would have
morality,
changed position.
Ekene, regardless of your morality, none of us are getting out of this alive. Regardless of where your morality is. Not one single person on this planet is getting out of this life alive. None of us. So you can,
But I can prolong it. But I can prolong it. I can prolong it.
Ekene,
All right, hold on.
But I can prolong it.
Hold on, y'all. We'll come back.
Story is going to end the same way.
Hey, Trey, some people choose to die at 18. Some people choose to die at 98. It's your choice.
To die, sir.
All right.
No, you can make your life shorten, or you can prolong it.
We're gonna come back to you.
Was a perfect
Cookie is on you. Then we're gonna go to Angela Baker.
He's still mad at me for not bidding it up, man.
No, I don't give a what I get mad at people for not
I have
getting no
just a
ass.
quick question. For Ekene, is that how you said?
Ekene.
He said you had this morals for women and respect, and the first thing you did was ask me my age. In America, that's rude.
I'm sorry, that's not matter of America. People got to know your name and your age to know how to relate to you. Okay,
I don't need
you
you
see all
to
these things that
relate to me.
I'm sick and tired of people telling me, "Oh, I can't tell you my age." No, people got to know your age and your name because
Well, you
guess what?
guessed wrong,
Do you
but
want me to treat you like an 18-year-old or a 38-year-old? Which one do you choose?
I feel you. I want you to treat me like a human.
No, but guess what?
I was just giving you a
Five fingers
lesson.
are not the same level, right? Are they the same level? Are they the same height?
I know some people with four fingers, but let me tell you something. All I was
Okay, I'm not that
saying, all
person. I'm
my
half five.
comment was that here in these states, you leading off your series of questions, which I'm glad we didn't get to because that would have popped off, and I'm trying to do better for JR and HR.
What do
Was
you mean by
that
that?
because they
What do you mean by that?
she
Let her finish.
pause.
Let her
Hold
finish.
on. They mentioned that she was like, "Why did you lead off with her age?" And I was just wondering the same thing.
Okay, I'm sorry. Like I said to you again.
What was the point? Like of what all I was saying is that I met my guy outside.
Oh yeah. Okay. I
What?
like when you said that you met him outside, I didn't hear that. I think I was corrected.
Oh,
Somebody corrected me and said, no, you met him outside. I said,
oh,
okay.
oh. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I digress.
All right.
Okay.
It's on you, Enter the Black Dragon.
First of all, good afternoon to everyone on the panel. Just to get the way. It's nice seeing some of y'all again because I frequent panels here and there. But from what I'm hearing about online dating, right? I mean, I've been doing it since dial-up, right? Since before there were dating apps, before there were any of it. AOL, Chat House, Yahoo Messenger, all of it, right? So I've been through. It's been an evolution as technology evolves. So does our communication, right? But so what we all can also agree to is that the same way you communicate on a keyboard or on a phone is completely different than how you relate to someone in person. So when you relate to someone in person and you live the life completely offline for at least 20, 30 years, you know and can remember and have the muscle and the social awareness in order to relate to complete strangers who you're standing in line with. That's still not an awkward feeling for you. If you're 20 years old, if you're 15, of course, the only thing you're looking at is your phone. You're not looking at anyone around you because the only thing you've grown up with is an online connection, a hyper connection to digital friends, avatars, and a world that isn't real. For us of a certain age, we grew up in an era where we faced and woke up to reality every day, and we woke up and went to sleep and did it again. So we're now living in an era where digital reality is kind of overcome and circumspect our younger people. And the more connected and hyper connected they are, the more disconnected and disassociated they are in reality. And that's a major problem. And now you're seeing this epidemic of hyper uses of apps in order to communicate with the opposite sex, because in reality, it's just become too difficult. So the online thing has always been a buffer, an emotional buffer that says, well, I can say whatever I want to you and not feel bad about it because you just have a block or a delete key. In reality, it's different. When you had an argument with your best friend, like that really did take a toll on you. You took some time out to reassess your feelings and you had to apologize and make that relationship work. And that's how you still rock with that person even till today. So it's just a completely different world that we live in that younger people don't know how to really navigate versus us from the older generation who do.
Quick question. As far as you, do you have a preference on whether you would rather meet someone online or, start off communication online or in person? Do you have a preference?
My preference is that in the few moments that you can meet someone in person, the amount of energy and excitement that you get from even talking to somebody who attracts you and that you're attracted to them, nothing actually defeats that moment. That moment, that eye contact that you made with that one hot chick, nothing beats that. Looking at hot women online all day doesn't compare.
Am I in
Oh,
a
go ahead. I'm
Disney
sorry.
movie
Go
right
ahead.
now? Energy? You a grown man, ABD. Energy? You talking about energy and eye contact?
Yeah. Sexual chemistry. If she's feeling you and you feel like Trey, if I'm feeling a girl and she's feeling me because we're eyeing each other, that's not something you can really scientifically explain. You can just only try and put words to it.
It's on you, Trey.
Shout out to Pokemon.
Yeah, I got nothing. I've heard this phrase once, and I truly believe it. Men are in love and women are in business. I don't think the women feel the same way the men do. When I hear men talking about energies and chakras and eye contact and all that, I just sit there and think, I don't think the women feel the same way. I think women are opportunistic and they're doing exactly what they want to do to get what they want in the long run. I think a lot of men are falling for it. Dating apps are, in my opinion, a way of sort of balancing the scales a little bit. But at the end of the day, the fact of the matter is that I've never had sex with a woman who didn't allow me to have sex with her. Plain and simple. At the end of the day, that's how it works. So if I had sex with her and I met her on a dating app, it's because she wanted to have sex with me. And I think we need to face reality that there are a lot more women that would rather just have a hookup. I think that's bothering some people out there because they can't believe it, but that's just the truth. There are a lot more women than there are not who would just prefer a hookup, and they're good with it. We just had spring break. I may or may not have been able to travel down to Miami. It's a lot of women down there that just want to hook up. That's it. They are not looking for relationships. And a lot of times, a lot of men, including myself, can source these women through dating apps. It is what it is.
I mean, at the end of the day, you do what works for you. And when you wake up in the morning and look in the mirror, if that's something that you're fine with and you feel fulfilled and you don't feel empty and you don't feel less than for, how you move, you got to live with that. Nobody else has to live with that. You know what I'm saying? So if that's what works for you, continue doing that. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, we just out here trying to figure out what works for us. With some people, I mean, what Into the Black Dragon mentioned, I understand that. I understand meeting somebody like for the first time and having that feeling. Haven't felt that in a long time. But when you do feel it, it's undeniable. I don't disagree with what you're saying about, men are in love, women are in business. I mean, I can see where you're coming from in terms of that. In, I guess, the time we're living in now, where online everybody's trying to put their sports center highlights on the internet. So yeah, that's business. You know what I'm saying? That's somebody that's looking for somebody to invest in them. That's a business situation. That's why men are out here standing in front of Ferraris with a fly ass suit on as their post, because they understand that, this has become business now. So I have to make it look like I am a businessman. But at the end of the day, when you standing in the mirror and you're not really a businessman, and that Ferrari you got from, what's that car rental, Toro, that Ferraris from Toro and that suit is from Men's Warehouse, and you know it's not real, it's just a costume, you got to live with that until you don't, you know, until it eats you up, you know what I mean? So everybody do what works for them.
Well, it's only fair game. You can go out on the streets. I mean, I wasn't always on dating apps, and you can meet women in person, and her hair isn't hers, her eyelashes aren't hers, she got makeup on, nails. She isn't representing who she is either. I mean, we can play this game all day. The fact of the matter is when you first meet somebody, you are meeting typically their representative. That is typically who you're meeting on both sides, men and women. So that's why I'm saying this whole, oh, well, you know, I looked her in her eyes and I felt this instant. Well, how? Those aren't even her real eyes. Those are color contacts.
Nah, I mean, in
Lies,
person,
because
that's
when
what I'm
I did
saying. In
it,
person is different. In person is different. That's where I separate like the internet from in person. You can see what's what. You know what I mean? If you a student of the game, you can see what's what. You can figure out what's a weave, what's contacts. You know what I mean? Online, they can present that much better to you than they can in person. In person, you know what I'm saying? You could creep up on it. You could smell a pack of weave in a head, like, you know, especially depending on if it's summertime, you like, God damn, that's a weed. You know what I'm saying? That came from Sally's Beauty Supply. But, you know, that initial feeling is different.
It's
You know what I
prime.
mean? You don't get that
It's
online.
primal and it's instinctual. It's nothing that it defeats. I mean, because men are logical beings, right? At the end of the day, we have to threat assess. We have to show you know, respect how we move through the universe. But what happens is when we come across certain women, right, that we're attracted to, we behave toward that woman completely different than any other woman that we've interacted with. And that's the chemistry I'm talking about. Like when that woman is expressing interest in you because you've made eye contact, if you're not letting go and breaking that eye contact for at least like maybe 10, 20, 30 seconds or longer, there's an actual interest there that says it's a nonverbal communication that there's mutual attraction there, and you both can't stop but looking at each other. And now you're on each other's radar. And now somebody's got to say something, right? Because that's what tension is. That's what sexual tension is. It's mutual attraction. It's a jackpot, and it's rare.
I feel like I saw this in a movie somewhere.
Yeah, you can't
no,
sit there and
it's real.
oh goddamn 20 to 30 seconds, man. You're a fucking stalker now, dog. That's a long time.
Nah.
Stop. No, let me tell you something. When I met
most of your companies got a 3-second rule. You can look at a person if it's you. He said 20 to 30 seconds.
but when he said 10 to 20.
No, didn't he say 20 to 30?
Okay. 10. Let's just say 10 to 20, right? Let's just say 10 to 20
okay.
because
I'm glad you cleaned that up. God damn.
No, I'll clean it up. But what I'm saying is when you're on each other's radar as man and woman, and there's a mutual attraction and interest, you're on each other's radar. You're both mutually attracted to each other. It's not stalkerish. I mean, it's just what
not.
happens.
Let me tell you why. Because when I first saw this man that I talk to now, we were at an event, and it was, for me, it was like slow motion. Everything slowed down. So I completely believe you, Enter the Black Dragon, because it happened to me. And I'm probably one of the most defense mechanism having females that I know. Okay. But when I saw this man, that all flew out the window. I felt like Pocahontas, her was blowing in the wind. I was trying to see how the man smelled. Okay. I was like, I need to get closer to him for some reason. Why is this? And now look.
So, but you as a woman can get away with that looking at me for 20 to 30 seconds. As a man,
I don't think it was that long, maybe 6 or 7. But we definitely, he was looking at me back. It wasn't
I'm not. Listen what I'm saying, Cookie. I'm talking about the example that Enter the Black just said. He did say 20 to 30 seconds. That's what he said. He didn't say 10 to 20. He said 20 to 30. So as a man, I cannot sit there and look at a woman for no 20 to 30 seconds without something being said or maybe considered inappropriate. Because what if she's not interested in me? I'm rolling the dice. I'm taking a chance. I look at her. I'm looking at her 20, 30 seconds in. Yeah, she may. What's wrong with you, creepy motherfucker? And all of a sudden, I'm getting the
No,
drink to the face.
and you know what? I feel sad for you that you've never actually had that moment because it is a real thing. It's not like you sitting there counting the seconds. It's just kind of like it's a moment in time that doesn't really have a stopwatch on it, and it's you can't really explain it. And y'all are looking at each other. It's not a ooh, she bad, creepy. I've had that happen to me. I had it happen to me yesterday. I'm talking about a mutual, you catch eye contact mid stride with someone who may be standing still or walking as well, and y'all just looking at each other like you may even known this person in another life. You never know.
I don't think
If a woman's staring at me for any
20 and 30
longer than
seconds.
5 seconds, I
That's
think
a
she's
long
plotting.
time.
It is a long
And you
time.
sound hurt, Trey. And I wanted to say that the whole show.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. You're not licensed. You're not a therapist.
Trey's
You can't
fine.
speak on
Trey's
anything
fine.
that's happened in my life. So don't do that.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
let's
I
get
don't
back
know
to
you.
it.
You don't know
20 to
me.
30 is a long time. That's all I want to say. 20 to 30
I think
seconds.
it feels like a long time, but when it happens, well, I guess the point that I'm trying to make is it's not the amount of time, it's the fact that it happens.
I knew what you meant. I know what you meant.
And it don't mean
But
that
I
it's
mean,
going to be some.
somebody for about 5 minutes tell, okay, she got something. Let me go over and have a conversation. That's 20 to 30. That's a long guy. Now I might start to see shit I don't know like then. I'll say I do 20 to 30 seconds. All right, man. She walk with a goddamn lamp. I don't like that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe it just seems like that, Black Dragon.
It just seems maybe a long it's a long okay, let's put it this way. It's a longer time than usual than you're looking at anything else. When something captures your attention, it captures it for a long, long time. But when it's a woman who's looking at you and then you're looking at her, that eye contact doesn't like it's a game of who looks away first, but neither of y'all want to do it.
And like I said, it don't mean it's gonna be no, romance, for the ages type shit. It's just it when it happens. And that's something that I feel can't be captured online.
Right.
You know what I mean? Online is more manufactured. You know what I mean? Whereas like I had a situation like during COVID, I was just going to the post office to mail something off. And, I walked in and I heard a chick, she had like one of them English Jamaican accent mixtures. And I look back, boom. When I look back, she was looking me dead in my eyes, probably like 3 seconds. I'm like, okay, she all right. You take a snap, you look back, take a snapshot. Then I look back again. She was looking me dead. Boom. Another like 3 or 4 seconds. So I'm like, hold up. So I'm, my back is to her. So I'm like, let me try again. So I looked, same thing. So I'm like, all right, dog. She's trying to, she's interested. So I go mail my thing off. And she must have ran back to the car real quick. And then so we crossed paths. So I'm like, so she mentions, because it's during COVID, so I had my mask, so I was struggling, to breathe, whatever. She was like, oh, you look like you're struggling to breathe, whatever. I'm like, yeah, a little bit, So I'm like, okay, this is the first verbal. So I'm like, all right, she's throwing it out there. She had a child with her. You know what I mean? So I didn't want to, I don't know. I feel like if a woman has her kid with her, I almost feel it's almost like her mom is with her. Like you kind of don't want to just be macking a chick while it's a child there. That's how I feel. Like I wouldn't do that if her mom was there. I would feel some type of way. You know what I mean? So I wrote a note and put it in the door handle because I saw the car she was coming from and just hopped in my car. I ain't think nothing of it. And she called me probably like 20 minutes later. You know what I mean? So I'm like, just took advantage of the moment. You know what I mean? But it's stuff like that that's going to be missing. You know what I mean? I got to assess it a lot more because it was face to face.
Jay, did you have your brown bag with you just in case?
Absolutely not. Maybe in the glove compartment I had my car. So
you know what I mean when I say this. That's some condoms. That's how you keep it in the clinic. Brown paper bag.
Grab bag.
Yeah, don't get caught slipping like Ikane. Shout out to my man if he's still here.
But before we wrap it up, y'all have any last words? Anything? Any last words, Hank?
Yeah,
Cookie?
I mean, I'll quickly go real quick. I mean, I just, I mean, if we're gonna teach anybody anything, it's gonna be that like social interactions is a muscle that you have to flex. So you have to encourage younger people to go outside and meet people, talk to people face to face, talk to strangers that they don't know. It's the only way to kind of overcome social anxiety in any given place. That's just how they're gonna have to navigate the world. And if we keep allowing them to just shut themselves off in their room, online, and inside, they're never gonna really learn that lesson.
All right. Let me get to these super chats real quickly before we close out. Harrison Davis. 199 says, thanks, mistaken. And to the Black Dragon said, been a cyber pimp since 1995, dial up before apps. AP Accountability Partner $2 says, Luis, that portrait is fire. Dedicated to my children's future, gifted Lapeef Networks memberships. Thank you, sir. And lastly, Juicy Work, Shaw 499 stick. I want to thank everybody that has contributed to the platform thus far. Appreciate everybody coming up, Trey, into the Black Dragon, Ekene. Thank all the panelists that had to go and fall out. If you guys haven't hit that like button on your way out, then also make sure you subscribe to the channel. Shout out to the sponsor again, T. Hanley. And make sure you guys go ahead and get that Sugar Curls collab with Lapeef, man. Let's get our beard right. I got the best beard on the gang. In the gang, Hink, I had to go ahead and retake that throne, man. You know, maybe next week we can go ahead and check to see how it's done up, man. It don't look done up right now, so.
I got you. I'm gonna get it together.
I'm gonna get it together. All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all, man. Thank you.
Okay, good night, guys. Good day, guys.
All right. Well, you on? I didn't even see you up there.
Yeah, I was taking care of something.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well. Hey. All right, y'all. Thank you, Jay.